Interesting. Okay. What's going on, you guys? Very interesting. Very interesting on how things are set up nowadays. Well, if I'm not gonna go. No, I'm gonna just switch over to my other account and go live on my other Facebook. Like on my. See, that's the. See. Alright. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Welcome to the stream. I'm about to do a live reaction to a podcast. If y'all will want to stay tuned for that. I don't know. I know I'm on Facebook and YouTube. I was gonna try to go on Instagram, but then I just found out that you can't even go on. You can't even go on Instagram Live when you don't even have 1,000 followers. I'm like, okay, alrighty then. So we just automatically. What's going on? Welcome to the stream. We're just automatically just. You have to be of some sort of status now to even go live. It's crazy. I mean, at least YouTube is like cool about it. I mean, crap, jeez. I didn't even realize that it's like. And I know for a fact I can't go live on TikTok no more either. It's like you have to be at a certain account status, and I'm just like, and I'm just like, yeah, like I can't even go live. It's crazy. But I'm also going to. I really want to try to go live on like multiple platforms, besides just Facebook and YouTube. I don't even think it shows that I'm live on Instagram either. Yeah, it doesn't even show that I'm live either on Instagram. That's crazy. Like, that's actually crazy. But I think I don't know. People like what I've seen is that, and then there's the other crazy. I don't really care, but I think to me is that like I try to stream right, and then when I try to stream, what I've seen is actually there's more views when you're in portrait mode than landscape, which I don't mind. It's just the problem is that if say if I'm like sitting like this, and I like it's literally just this at this point, like that's literally what the frame is. If I move this way or move this way, I'm out of frame. I'm looking at my OBS and I'm like, that's exactly how it would be because I run mine through Restream, but I'm probably gonna do something different. But I don't know. But I'm gonna do a live reaction of post podcast reaction here. So it's funny because I like being in the world of business, building businesses, creating systems to help businesses grow, and all that such. So I've watched business podcasts, and who I subscribe to on YouTube, is like a business podcast, but it actually does a lot more. Like this guy's built his own social media company out of when he sold his insurance company, because he started out in sales and all that. But his background story is very open. His name's Patrick Bet-David. He's a Syrian in dang. Oh, he's not. No, he's not. I think he's. Or Armenian and Assyrian. Excuse me. That's I was trying to figure it out. Armenian and Assyrian. So he's an Armenian Assyrian immigrant that came to the United States. He he loves our country. I like that. I don't. I like that he's reacting about political stuff, because I mean the fact of the matter is that he's giving an unbiased perspective, no matter what people think about it. And people have seen my content. I've bounced around from different perspectives because I react to it. I have different perspectives on everything, whether if it's certain parties or certain perspectives or certain opinions about certain things in society. But they come at it from a perspective of what's going to be better for the people. Um, they're very in tune with business. They're very in tune with social media. They're very in tune with how the world works and what's going on in society. So I think it's also a good tool to have. That's an unbiased perspective. That's not the news. To be able to find your own perspective, or draw your own conclusions from your own opinions. Um, in a way, free thinking. And again, he does all this funded by his own. Like what I had to do to really understand the process of how people blew up on social media was the fact of, are they just putting in AdSense, and as in like AdSense as in like they're investing into the content that they make on social media. Not just that, but do they also have their own capital? Like they have their own way of trying to raise money so they can put forth the effort and more like funding, sort of part of like being able to be like being a content creator, blowing up yourself, and then being able to maintain a niche, always talking about something new, because if you do something over and over again, it doesn't make sense. So, and it won't ever work. Won't ever generate money. But I mean, hearing from an unbiased perspective, like not listening to the news, listening to podcasts and all that. Yes, they have a certain like. Yes, you can kind of tell like what perspectives people are in, but at the end of the day, I'm about to drop something very big soon, and like I always thought of this quote that I thought of from Jordan Maxwell, is that your mind is like a parachute, so it won't work unless if it's open. So I've always thought about being able to listen to different perspectives, and then being able to make your own perspective or perception on what is talked about is kind of is kind of the key. So something that I like to do is watch podcasts from different perspectives, and and what Patrick Bet-David does is he does a lot of just statistics and looking at how it affects not just people of his status, but people of every status. Like I said, this is a dude that came to the States. This is a guy that came to the States and is grateful for what they did the right way. And again, it's gonna get political, but I mean, I'm not the person to throw political views down your throat. You can vote however you want. If you do vote, I don't care. But just know that it counts, and know that it actually matters, because regardless of how corrupt the system is, if we all can try to understand that unity is key first and foremost. That's what I've always said, and then also what PBD says is that the paranoid survive. The paranoid do survive. So I mean, always being skeptical, always questioning things. It's okay to do that. So I do that on a constant daily basis. So I'm gonna get here with that. So I just wanted to update you with that. It's just to know that, oh yeah, I'm not just going to support just anybody. He's also a Christian as well, regardless of the fact of his beliefs or where he stands politically. This is from a perspective where it's analyzing. The description with his podcast, it says here, the PBD podcast hosted by Patrick Bet-David delivers engaging conversations on business, entrepreneurship, current events, politics, and sports, live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9. Of course, and then of course their home teams and special guests brings real-time reactions and dynamic discussions from the Vault, which is the conference that he hosts every year, and from their Valuetainment, which is their social media company, Fort Lauderdale studio. Every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. they tune in for exclusive interviews with top entrepreneurs, leaders, and newsmakers around the world. So they interview like everybody. So they've had the president on. They've had Candace Owens on. They've had all these influential people, and it's always produced engaging conversations, and it's always been about trying to me, watching podcasts like this engages me into want to know what's going on, so you always are aware of what's going on. If you're not aware of things, that's how people get hurt. That's how people die. Just being straight honest. Not trying to be dramatic, but I hope that you guys enjoy this. And not only that, I'm going to announce some stuff here pretty soon when we get done. So stay tuned for that. But right now, I'm going to load this screen up here. I honestly wish that I could go live on more than just YouTube and YouTube and Facebook. But I mean, here's what it is. Whoever's in the chat or whoever's in the stream, welcome. Appreciate you. And I hope like people enjoy this. I'm literally I don't care if I do this for one person. If I go live and nobody's watching, I don't care. I mean, I don't care how many people see my stuff. But what I understand about social media is that, again, I want to try to figure out why is all this useless, stupid crap that's rotting our brains on social media going viral than actual content that actually brings value, like teaching kids financial literacy, teaching people how to do basic life skills. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody does that, but everybody will want to complain about, nobody knows how to go viral, or they don't. I'm sorry, I don't want to people don't complain, but people are like, oh, it's so easy to go viral. No, it's not, dude. For real, it's not. Hold on, I'm gonna turn off this light real quick. Turn on this light real quick. Yeah, it adds a little bit. And then I'm gonna go check on my phone. Alright, my girl be sleeping. But it's okay, she works. She works her butt off, so. But yeah, so this is Patrick Bet-David. PBD podcast is what he calls it because it's short for his name. His name is actually very unique and it's actually pretty cool. But hope that you guys enjoy this. As we react, I'm gonna not try to pause this frequently, but bear with me if I do. So let's switch over to screen here. All right. It's so funny because I'll be doing this and then
Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm supposed to take sweet victory.
Alright, you can hear me through this, right? Okay.
What's your point? The future looks bright.
See, they've had, people, they've had Mike Tyson on The Rock, Candace Owens, all these, controversial figures, yes, but they bring value to the internet, trust me. and I've connected with
Okay,
the best
I think
people
it's
out
fair
here.
to say it was a busy weekend. A lot of stuff happened, and on top of a lot of stuff happening, also this coach. There's a massive coach feud going on with Bellingham in England, which is a very, very interesting story. World Cup, of course, we'll cover that as well. Lindsey Graham, may he rest in peace, died at 71 years old, right after coming back on his 10th trip from Kiev, Ukraine, if I'm not mistaken, and he made the phone call to the president. And then boom, we heard the story. There's a lot of people that are saying good, bad things, conspiracy theories. We'll get into that. And there's one message, one speech he gave defending Kavanaugh that Vinny showed me yesterday. I couldn't believe it while I'm sitting there. It's one of the best things I've heard a Senate say in a long time, defending his own camp and doing it in such an eloquent way. But again, he's a complicated individual. Mitch McConnell, same thing. They hadn't heard him speak for a minute, and eventually post something with a newspaper holding up, and there's a lot of memes going on. A lot of people are having a lot of fun with Mitch McConnell. One of the memes was him dancing. One of the memes was him with Elvis Presley and Tupac and all these guys. And then a lot of people asked and said, you know, Beatles break up. Yeah, a lot of people asked and said, why don't you just post a video instead of a newspaper holding? But I mean, how much there is to it, who knows? I can tell you, he's already stated last year that he's retiring January 1st of 2027, and he's not seeking re-election. So his job's going to be going to somebody anyway. So for conspiracy theorists, it's a fun story to go through. We're glad he's doing better, and he's with his wife. Rubio. I think last week we showed a story, Vinny, of the fellow Laotian man who he did rape his wife's sister, who was 10 years old, and she didn't file any charges. And Tim Walz is like, well, it's just their culture. Leave the man alone. You know, if she doesn't want to file anything, it's okay. Marco Rubio doesn't play around. He came out and said, listen, you're getting deported, you child rapist, you.
Yes.
No hesitation. I don't care if you put the fear of death into the 10-year-old girl at the time that you ended up marrying her sister, and whether they're okay with you or not, we're not okay with that in America. Get the hell out of here. And that's my interpretation of how he said it. Marco said it more eloquently, but I'm just kind of interpreting it.
You're out of here.
And then aside from that, Iran and U.S., a nasty situation. Obviously, this memorandum of understanding is going very smoothly. Everything's working out. They're attacking left and right. And it's not looking good. It's not looking good what's going on there. And you should hear what the state TV of Iran was saying when Lindsey Graham was dead, celebrating, and a bunch of other people celebrating with that. But he was one of the guys that was helping out Reza Pahlavi a lot.
Death is crazy.
And so, you know, with potentially doing things to liberate Iranians. And so they do not like Lindsey Graham. But there's a lot of nasty things going on. Iran attacked, I believe, Bahrain, Jordan, Kuwait, Oman, a few different places, Oman, a few other places. And so we're in the middle of the 30-day, the 60-day that they said they're going to negotiate. It's not going well in the first 30 days, so we'll see what happened there. Mamdani was allegedly supposed to meet with the ambassador of Iran. Not a big deal. I didn't check my schedule. I don't know. I don't know. And we're supposed to believe. I didn't know. my team's doing it, and I don't know. Like, let's just say if I got a big meeting. You don't think I know my big meetings? What do you think? Oh, well, hey, Mr. President, I don't know. Hey, Ambassador, what I don't know, right? And then State Department's like, what the hell are you doing? Get out the way. You're not going to go meet with those guys. Do you understand what you're doing here? And then he makes a few comments about, you know, different parts of New York. This is for Palestinians. This is for this, and he leaves out Jews and Italians and all the. Wait. What are you doing? What are you doing, New York? New York is like, are you out of your mind? Well, no, it wasn't like intentional.
Yeah.
It was accidental, but it is what it is. We'll address that story. Couple cool stories I really like. One, Chipotle CEO uses team dinners to spot potential leaders. I really want to talk about that. I love that story. I love that strategy, period. We've done that for 25 years. And I think it's a good idea for any executive that's watching this to be doing that as well. I'm in such reading mode right now. I cannot even tell you how much I'm doing. I've done more reading. I haven't done this kind of chunking of reading the way I'm doing right now the last few weeks in probably 10 years. I'm always reading stuff, but not reading books. And I got some of the stuff here. A story says the end of reading is here. And I think that's such a big edge to people who don't allow the end of reading to be there for you.
Yeah, I think
There's so much opportunity for those that don't allow that to apply to them. The brain's getting rotted for a lot of people. Test scores came out. Check this out. University of, which one is this? Brown University allowed people to go do take-home midterms. I wish take-home midterms were there when I was around. We didn't have no take-home midterms. You go take-home midterms. And so kids go and take home the midterms, and then they do the midterms in school. It's a 20% difference in score. No shit, Sherlock. What do you think is going to happen if I go home and I can use? So then the first university in America right now that is no longer allowing devices in the classroom is University of Chicago Law School. Good for them. We don't want devices in here. I think that's a great idea. You guys got to learn instead of just relying on that, technology to do all that stuff for you. Netflix is exploring going live TV. It looks like they want to compete with Hulu in that area, but it could or could not be a good strategy. I think I like it, but we'll see what happens. A couple good soccer stories. Rich Paul says if LeBron James joined Steph Curry, they would terrify Warriors opponents. I fully disagree. LeBron James is glued to the TV and is envious of one thing, watching World Cup, that these people in World Cup are better floppers than him. The only people that are better floppers than LeBron James are soccer players. Honestly. Can you imagine LeBron as a soccer player? You touch him, he falls, holds his hands, is looking through his eyes to see if the referee's looking or not.
Yeah.
So I got some thoughts on that. Obviously,
He get yellow cards.
yeah. We won't go to Adam on thoughts on the NBA stuff, but we will give you some insight on what's going on. And then Gavin Newsom says Elon Musk owes him an apology. He owes Californians an apology.
Forgot about it.
And he was asking a question about his taxes. It's like, well, I always do my taxes and all this stuff, but Elon wasn't too friendly with Elon, and we'll address that part. There's an article that came out from CNBC saying the 10 worst states to live in, and you should see who's in the top 10 worst states to live in. It's like the most ridiculous thing you'll ever see in your life. Like the states that are getting the most people that are going to them are supposed to be the worst states, and the states that are losing the most people are supposed to be the best states. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Who wrote the story?
CNBC. CNBC. Conor McGregor's story with his leg, we'll get into that. And then there is, if you're 80 years old watching this, we have some audience that are over 80 that watch this. If you're over 80 watching this, there's a massive, life-changing, life-saving disclaimer that has to do with bisons. Like, if you see a bison and you're above 80, probably a good idea is to turn around and walk as fast as you can away from the bison. Don't try to beat the bison walking around a tree. We'll show that to you. It's very important because that's more like a national health announcement to make to people above 80.
Artificial hips are in your future.
My mom and my dad are in that community. So first thing I did when I saw that video, I texted them the video. I said, Mom, Dad, if you guys see a bison, run away. Don't go try to take a picture of it. I don't care about the picture. So I think it's important for us to share that with you. We will. But with that being said, you know what is happening? In less than 8 weeks, the Vol Conference, and this is the new man.
Yeah.
This is.
Oh, let's go, baby! I'm so hyped for this event, bro. I'm going to Vegas too, bro.
Best of its kind. It's going to be a couple interesting stories and announcements at Vol being made. But with that being said,
this is
for
the
those of
event
you
that I
guys
go
that
to.
have
This
been
is
watching
going to be
Vol
my
ads
second one.
left and right, and you keep saying, I'm going to go, prices are going up today for the Vol Conference. With that being said, I want you to watch this video. Go ahead, guys. You know what's a guarantee in life? That there will always be something happening in your life at that moment to be able to say, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I'll do it next year. You've seen plenty of the Vol Conference videos. You know you want to go to it. You know there could be some people to do business with or get some new strategies at an era like this for you to win in a marketplace and have your dreams become a reality. Do not be the person that says, next year I'll go to the Vol Conference. If you want to commit, click on the link below or above. Get registered for the Vol Conference. I'll spend 4 days together from August 31st to September 3rd at MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas. Cannot wait to see you there.
Let's go.
By the way, and here's what I will tell
so
you.
hyped
There's
for
going to be
that,
a
bro.
couple people there that I haven't announced on this list.
And I've met Rob.
Because it's
Cameron.
potentially last minute type. I can't tell you who it is till it happens. If you want to be in a place where you're around others who have conservative values, fiscally, personal life, fathers, parenting, family, business, finance, economy, politics, everything that we talk about comfortably and nobody walks on eggshells, go to vault2026.com. Vault, is it vault2026.com? Vault2026.com. Register, get your tickets. Looking forward to seeing you there at MGM Grand Arena, Las Vegas. All right, with that being said, let's get right into it. The first story I want to get into is the Lindsey Graham story. Lindsey Graham yesterday, we get the news, 71 years old, dies on a flight back. He comes back from Kiev, Ukraine, 10th trip that he has. He calls the president. They're having a call together. While they're having a call together, goes back to his hotel room in the morning, wakes up. We hear the story that he is you know, at 8:30 in the morning, when he returns back, 8:30 p.m. when he returns back from Washington, D.C., there's a call. Emergency Medical Services receives a call reporting a man with severe chest pains at Graham Capitol Hill residence. Within 25 minutes, dispatch audio reveals emergency personnel are performing CPR. And then he's transported to George Washington University Hospital, where he is pronounced dead. And then his office issued a public statement early Sunday morning confirming his passing due to a brief and sudden illness. Apparently, the story that you keep hearing about from a lot of people is the aorta tear that took place. So now, again, with a personality like him, a lot of people would say, well, he was John, you know, he's like John Bolton. He was all he wanted to do was military war. Originally, he was against Trump. He was this. Totally get it, and people have the right to their own opinions. And then the other side, a lot of people said, hey, this guy was trying to make a lot of people in Iran, and he was playing a role in making sure IRGC wasn't going to be there. Wherever your position is at, may he rest in peace. There's a moment, and I first want to show you the Trump phone call, if you have that. He gets a call from Lindsey Graham when he lands. This is 12 hours before he dies. He called the president, and they had a call together. And this is, right here, if you want to play this clip, go for it.
Thank you for joining us, and my condolences to you.
Well, thank you. He's a tough one to lose. He was great. He was unique in every way, actually.
He was, Mr. President, and I know that we are all just absorbing this news. We are all in shock. Can you tell us, Mr. President, how you received this news and your immediate gut reaction when you heard it?
So what makes it even stranger is that I got a call last night sometime in, the early evening, maybe in the 7s, and he called and he said, we're all set for the Save America Act. He was pushing the Save America Act like crazy. He got back, said he just landed from Ukraine. I said, that's a long trip to make. He said, he sounded a little tired, but perfect, but a little bit tired. Had a right to be. And he was a worker. He was really a worker. But he sounded great, actually. But he actually said he was tired. But he wanted to pass the Save America Act. And I said, well, we're going to get it done, Lindsey. We're going to get it done.
So, Tom, your thoughts on the passing of Lindsey Graham?
Well, first of all, it doesn't matter which side of the aisle you were on. You recognized, our statesmen, you recognize these people with respect. You may not agree with them, but you recognize their life of service with respect.
Welcome to the stream.
And what has disgusted me is
We're just
people
reacting
that
to
were
a
just,
podcast.
dancing on the grave and being, so happy about it, good riddance and all that. There's no place for that. There is zero place for that. Everybody has an opportunity to flip and change. Everybody has an opportunity to find religion, find faith, whatever it is they find, and come to the other side. And there's just one moment, one day away from that. And so, first I was disgusted, but then I sat back and I decided I wasn't going to be angry, and I was just going to consider the man. And I considered the things he did. I considered, Vinny, you found it, the amazing, full-throated, defense that he gave at the Kavanaugh hearing. J6, it's very interesting. I was speaking to some people at Trump International Golf Course, and what they told me, said during J6, that whole area, that Lindsey Graham was coming down to Mar-a-Lago, and he was coming down almost weekly. And he wasn't there, playing golf, partying, or anything like that. He was down there supporting, his colleague, supporting Trump, who was under siege after what happened with J6. And that showed you that he had a sense of loyalty to him. And it was interesting to me is these were just the regular people, that are, these weren't, in other words, these aren't politicians or anything like that. These were people that are saying, wow, it was amazing when this was going on. You could see the loyalty that he had. You could see the dedication he had, for Trump. And how many people, I don't care if you're critical, can you look around in your life and find people that are that loyal to you? I don't care if you love or didn't love Lindsey Graham. If you don't look around yourself and see people that are that loyal to you, then guess what you don't have? You don't have true friends. And this guy, I feel a sense of loss.
Respectfully, a lot of people would say this guy was very critical of Trump in the past. This guy, so the part of the audience, there's a few things to isolate, in my opinion. Number one, hey, guess what? The man died. He's no longer here with us. Come say, give me a kiss, baby. You're so funny. You just came in to say hi. and then we can go back. Who else you got?
See, guys like him also got families too, man.
But you know, a lot of people are saying this guy on one end was, you know, critical of the president for a long time, and then all of a sudden later on, now you're coming saying this. So let's isolate. One, yes, made a man rest in peace, but on the other side, you know, he was also not somebody that was necessarily loved by 100% of Republicans. Now, the one thing that I will tell you that is very interesting is this clip that you shared with me yesterday. You want to talk about what's going on over here?
So guys, and I want to say this because Tom made a great point. Like, criticize left, right, whatever. His defense of Brett Kavanaugh when he's trying to get the seat, the Supreme Court justice, is one of the most defining moments in his political career. And I think, and Tom, it was one of those like moments where you're like, oh my God, this dude. By the way, look at the people around him. He's quiet, so he's trying to get a seat. And they had the, you know, Dr. Blasey Ford came up and had this whole rape allegation from high school, and little did they know that this guy had literally every single day on a calendar for years, every single thing that he did, so it didn't add up. They tried to destroy him, just like Clarence Thomas, because this is how Washington does. And if, guys, I'm telling you right now, and Tom made a great point, if you are, you know, letter of recommendation or whatever you want somebody like Lindsey Graham, love him or hate him or his mind change about Trump or whatever, this is the guy that you want in your corner talking for you. This is a freaking a letter of recommendation beyond a letter of recommendation. So he's sticking up for him after what the...
Can we watch it? Go for it.
If you wanted an FBI investigation, you could have come to us. What you want to do is destroy this guy's life, hold this seat open, and hope you win in 2020. You've said that, not me. You've got nothing to apologize for. When you see Sotomayor and Kagan, tell them that Lindsey said all of them, because I voted for them. I would never do to them what you've done to this guy. This is the most unethical sham since I've been in politics. And if you really wanted to know the truth, you sure as hell wouldn't have done what you've done to this guy. Are you a gang rapist?
No.
I cannot imagine what you and your family have gone through. Boy, y'all want power. God, I hope you never get it. I hope the American people can see through this sham. That you knew about it and you held it.
The allegations
You
are
had
rape.
no intention of protecting Dr. Ford. None. She's as much of a victim as you are.
What's going on? Welcome to the
God, I
stream, y'all.
hate to say it because these have been my friends. But let me tell you, when it comes to this, you're looking for a fair process, you came to the wrong town at the wrong time, my friend. Do you consider this a job interview?
The advice and consent role is like a job.
Do you consider that you've been through a job interview?
I've been through a process of advice and consent under the Constitution.
Would you say you've been through hell?
I've been through hell and then some.
This is not a job interview. This is hell. This is going to destroy the ability of good people to come forward because of this crap. Your high school yearbook. You have interacted with professional women all your life, not one accusation. You're supposed to be Bill Cosby when you're a junior and senior in high school. And all of a sudden you got over it. In my understanding.
Dang, look at his face now, dude. Look at his face now. He ain't smiling no more.
2
Damn.
years in high school, you probably don't stop. Here's my understanding. If you lived a good life, people would recognize it. Like the American Bar Association has the gold standard. His integrity is absolutely unquestioned.
It's solid. I mean, you can pause it right here. It's just a powerful messaging of Lindsey Graham. Again, in this business, the guy served in the military over 30 years, right? I think he was 3+ decades that he was in there. And he did his work and hard, one of the hardest working guys out there. But the market reacted to it in a very different way. There's a lot of negative things that was said about him as well.
Oh,
I don't know if you want to get into that.
Yeah, so, and just, I'm happy you brought that up, Pat. 30 years in Congress and in a city where politicians like Nancy Pelosi amass tens of thousands, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, guess what he left? He died with a net worth of $1.5 million. That's nothing for 30 years. But then you have ghouls, and Pat, these are disgusting human beings. Margaret Cho on Lindsey Graham's death. Umberto, can you bring that up? And I'll say it while he's looking for it. She said, "Bye, Lindsey, from the closet to the coffin." Think about, and again, guys, going off of what Pat said, I don't care how you felt about somebody, if they loved somebody, if they hated somebody, his policies or whatever. This is a human being made in the image of God, and he is dead. For you to say stuff like from the closet to the coffin, or you have it for Margaret Cho. Margaret Cho, I sent it in the Slack, is a disgusting thing to do, and it says so much about your soul. And this is coming from it's not the majority, it's everybody from the left that is speaking on him. A little bit higher, right there, that's Margaret Cho. And then you can show the other one. Guys, this is Margaret Cho, the comedian, talking about somebody that just died. Go ahead.
Bye, Lindsey. Bye, Lindsey Graham. From the closet to the coffin. Real seamless. Real seamless.
The dog said
Also, yeah, Mitch McConnell. So it's Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham. It does happen in threes.
Does happen in threes. You know what she's wanting? She wants Trump. That's innuendo wanting Trump to die. And by the way, her dog sounds like he's asking for help in the background. And then Umberto, go down. Guys, listen to me. I know we always talk about evil and demons and all that stuff. Look at this person's eyes when they're talking about death of another human being, and tell me there's not something disgusting and dark in this person's life. Go ahead.
I woke up this morning and found out Lindsey Graham is dead.
Jeez.
Oh, I gotta pause this now. I gotta pause this. Did you see that? You see that? You see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? I want to know if people saw that. Hold on. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out here. Okay, so if y'all didn't catch that, did you not see the... I'm not even trying to poke a stick. It said Allah. It didn't even say a God. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm saying, and I'm not, don't even take that out of perspective because I have my own opinions about it. I'm not going to talk about it on here. But only say that you don't hear that from people that have certain other different perspectives or beliefs. Just want to let you know that if you didn't see that in the caption of at the beginning of the video that they're reacting to, it's very interesting because you have to understand where the perspective's coming from to have an understanding of it. So I'm going to replay this again.
No, he's not.
There's two more that needs to go, if you know what I'm saying.
That's that too. It's like, come on, man.
But what a wonderful morning. Praise be Allah.
Yeah, praise be Allah.
Yeah.
Praise be Allah. So just to give everybody a context, Pat, and then Pat, if you don't mind, this whole thing with Lindsey, because you know all the conspiracy theorists were out there. He had what they basically said in layman's terms when he tore his aorta. It's like aortic dissection due to something cardiovascular disease. Okay, that's going heart disease. Tom, it happened to who's the Three's Company guy? I forgot.
John Ritter.
John Ritter. They get a tear in his aorta. And guys, this is from people that are just working and they're doing so much, and you're not checking on your health. And I'm telling everybody right now from experience, if you're over 40, stop putting it off. Get yourself checked out. There's too many people that ignore the warning signs. Okay, then they find out when it's too late. And a lot of these diseases can be treated if you catch them early. And now this is a message for everybody, wherever you are listening to this. If you're overweight, start taking care of yourself. Okay, if you're sitting around, get moving. And if you're struggling with addiction, today is the day to get better. Stop saying, and I love Pat, what are the odds that you did it for the full ad? Stop saying I'll do it tomorrow, because tomorrow turns into next week turns into a month, next month turns into a year, and I know because I've been
And
there.
then
Okay,
the
If
next
you're
year
struggling with
turns into
addiction
never.
Today, do it. Okay, get sober because it's the best decision. You feel me?
That's very good message. Adam, your thoughts?
Well, Vinny, number one, I'm glad that you're doing so well, and I appreciate the message. Rest in peace, Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham was a political gangster. So, you know, the kids say that he stood on business. He stood 10 toes down. That's what Lindsey Graham did. Some people didn't like it. Obviously, you have some disgusting people cheering for his death. Anna Kasparian, you could show that, our old friend. But there's a lot of red-blooded, loving Americans who understand what he did for our country. So he was the number one Republican voice, you could argue, on national security and foreign policy. Some people say he was a hawk, but that was his job. His job was to ring the alarm bells and say, Iran's trying to kill us. China's trying to slit our throat. Russia wants to basically take over Europe, and basically we're next. Stability through strength, peace through strength, that was his job. And then his coup de grace, you saw it earlier, was what he did with Brett Kavanaugh. Sometimes, when, you know, like, we might have to read our notes a little bit. We might have to check notes. This dude just looked straight in the camera and was like, this is what's going on. Here's what you need to know. This is the deal. That's how you know somebody's serious. At the end of the day, what I'm going to remember Lindsey Graham for was there's a lot of people that talk trash, but they're not in the game. This dude was in the arena. He might not agree with everything that Trump did or the Republican establishment did, but this guy was there every single day, and he's gone way too soon. 71 years old. We have people in their 80s, almost 90s in Congress, gone way too soon, and he'll be missed.
And by the way, while this is happening, Mitch McConnell posted a note out there and a picture of he and his wife to make sure everybody is not thinking that he's. A lot of people are like, maybe he's dead. He's dead. I think he's dead. He's not dead. He posted a picture with he and his wife and put a note out there. I don't know whether he wrote this or not. If you want to zoom in on the picture, if you want to zoom in on the picture a little bit, if you'll see, they have the newspaper to the left to kind of show what the timing is, and he's explaining how he had a fall.
Yeah, he might not be dead, but he's probably not even almost there anyway.
He says, I still have some work to do. I'm not stepping down, and
da-da-da-da.
but at the same time, he's already expressed last year that he's no longer seeking re-election after January 2027. So his seat will be taken over by somebody else. And this is the one thing about AI, man. AI knows how to have a lot of fun. You want to play some of these clips on what AI did? Just so you know how the market works. Look at this one here. I mean, just love. I mean, if you have a sense of humor, this is what people wanted to make sure he's doing well. You know, watch out for the music.
So, music.
Now, there you go. Some people are saying that's AI. Some are saying it's real. I'm saying it's AI. You know, but at the same time, I'm saying that's AI too. You know, we're glad he's doing okay, and his position will probably go to somebody else here soon. In regard to the South Carolina one, what happens next is the governor of South Carolina has to replace him with somebody, but they still have to do a primary, which means there has to be an element of somebody on the Republican side to be able to fight for Lindsey Graham's position. I think right now it's 53 to 47, you know, and it kind of brings it down to 52-47. So on the Senate, they definitely need every one of them. So there's some very moving parts on the power plays that people have to pay close attention to. Both of these guys, they're watching it very, very closely. Let me get to the next story. Next story is Iran targeted U.S. And these stories with Iran that you read about. I mean, it's not pretty what happened here. What's a real thing that took place? At one point, everybody's thinking, well, you know, it's good, it's peace, it's going to be great. Well, on July 7, Tuesday, escalations began after Iran fires drones at maritime shipping containers and transitioning the Strait of Hormuz, claiming sovereign oversight over unapproved shipping routes. And then Saturday, July 11th, an Iranian strike hits a commercial container ship in the critical waterway, setting it ablaze and leaving a civilian crew member missing. Iran's Revolutionary Guard officially declares the Strait of Hormuz closed to all international traffic. Then yesterday, July 12th, at 5 p.m. CENTCOM, forces initiate massive retaliatory waves, airstrikes strike 140 different targets across southern Iran, including Qashm Island, Bandar Abbas, Sirik, and Jask. Targets including drone launch. You got it. You want to put it here? That'll mess it up. Drone launch networks, missile sites, ammunition dumps. Thank you. And Revolutionary Guard naval vessels. Trump announced on national television, we bombed the hell out of them last night, signaling that the interim diplomatic deal is effectively dead. And then today, early this morning, very early this morning, Iranian state media acknowledges widespread domestic explosions response to the bombing. Tehran launched retaliatory strike targeting infrastructures inside Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, Jordan, and Oman. CENTCOM asserts that the strait remains open, stating Iran does not control the strait. Traffic is flowing. While this is going on, a couple things to keep in mind is these different locations that were, Tom, apparently these countries, Kuwait, they were able to intercept a lot of these attacks that took place. Tom, when you look at this, one, how is the market reacting to it? Two, I saw the numbers on odds on what they're saying. They're saying there's a 30% chances that this could escalate into something nasty, even worse than what it was, and oil prices can go back to 120. There's a 50% chance that this could drag out for quite some time till the end of the year. And there's a 20% chance that this is going to be a quick seasonal thing. Boom, we're going back to negotiation, and things will be done. Where are you at with this, Tom?
Well, I look at to see how the price of oil reacts because the market has been reacting, and I look at those numbers to see how all of the invisible hands of the economy, Pat, that are out there helping us and working against us work. And as you can see here, oil is staying just a tick under 74. It was 73.50. The market's open now at 73.75. Okay, great. So the market is maintaining calmness. Pre-market today for our major indexes, S&P and NASDAQ, 0.5% up. So in other words, a normal kind of a Monday up after some positive economic news over the weekend. Not dramatic news, but good news, fair news. So the market is not freaking out. Now you go down here and look, take a look, Pat. There's actually 34 ships in motion. Remember how long we would look on there and there was like 2, 3, and they were being escorted by the military, just one at a time, please. Well, guess what? There's some going through. Now, the other side of it is that there's the side that says, okay, it doesn't look like anybody's reacting. Here's the side I worry about. Iran is launching things back across at all of those targets, and they're hitting 2 and 3. I think they hit 3 separate countries on the other side. And it's like, wait a minute, this can get out of hand. And yes, the Iron Dome type technology, which is what we helped Israel with, that's out there.
And by the way, just so you look at Jordan's air defense intercept, regional threats, shooting down 4 incoming Iranian ballistic missiles over its sovereign airspace. Kuwait did the same thing with their interceptors, and then you got a couple other locations, not all of them, but some of them did get through.
Right, and I think Kuwait and Jordan, I believe, are U.S. equipment. Not U.S. ships, but it's U.S. technology on the ground there that we've shared with those countries. And so they're able to get it down, but this is nuts. But the number one nuts part that I absolutely hated was that it was a civilian, in other words, private company tanker that was there. And that just, when they're sitting there, you're looking at what happens if they really hit that. You have all this oil spilled in the Gulf, and you'd have 25 innocent sailors that were working for a cargo company on Monday, and on Tuesday they got killed by an Iranian missile. That, I think, is what's escalating this thing bad, Pat, is they're aiming at the innocent, sailors that are on transport vessels.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, every time they do this, it unites the world with each other, specifically that region. They're like, okay, we're on U.S. side, not on Iran's side. But at the same time, while you're watching this, you have to remember that how quickly did this change? When they had the funeral, their own state-sponsored banner, state-sponsored. That's kind of like, imagine the U.S. State Department says, kill Putin or kill something. It said kill Trump.
Yeah, how do you really feel?
Exactly. And then regime vows execution of leaders. High-ranking Iranian figures published a state directive on July 11 declaring that American decision-makers will take to their graves the unfulfilled wish of dying peacefully in their beds. This is not language of somebody that wants to negotiate. So it's and by the way, again, for somebody that was hoping for Iranians to be free, the 81% that want Iran to be free, the main guy that was spearheading this was Lindsey Graham, who died yesterday. That's why a lot of people are saying, well, maybe this could have a tie because of how Iran state media reacted to Lindsey Graham dying yesterday. Maybe there was something going on there. Adam, your thoughts with the story on Iran?
So here we go again. I mean, if this were reality TV, Pat, let's be honest here. This would be like the most toxic break up, get back together relationship in soap opera history. I know you were a big fan of Beverly Hills 90210. Shout out to Dylan McCabe, Melrose Place. But we're back again. we're friends again. They're crazy again. They're insane again. We're bombing them again. The Ayatollah's a great guy. He's a piece of crap. At what point are we like, oh my God? And I feel like, you know who's getting fatigue? You know, here's this thing. Oh, it's a black fatigue. It's Israel fatigue. At this point, I feel like the average American just has Iran fatigue. Don't even get me started on the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is affecting everybody's lifestyle and gas prices more than anything in America at this point. So if I'm the average American and I'm thinking Strait of Hormuz, Iran, get this stuff out of my face. I think we all understand this. Iran, they want to basically take over the Middle East. They want to have their sort of Sharia law vision of the world, the end of times. In America, we're focused on midterms versus the end of times. At the end of the day, they're going to do what they got to do with this little soap opera. But who out there doesn't think that as soon as midterms are over, left, right, or center, Trump isn't going to just bomb the crap out of these people like he has nothing left to lose? That's what I think is going to happen at the end of the day.
Vinny.
Well, here's my thing. How much on this podcast about what happened, but they could keep on doing this, and how much are we going to let them do it? Because all I keep hearing is the bragging. Okay, the Air Force decimated, Navy, all the ships at the bottom of the ocean. Pat, at what point are we going to say, okay, enough is enough? Because to me, it seems like this isn't going to stop in 2 years. This isn't going to stop in 10 years. Because Iran, first, I don't know how the hell they're doing it. Besides the mines, Tom, they have control of this specific area. And as you said, that all the nations are trying to slowly come together and be like, wait a minute, these people are in control, and it's whatever they dictate, the oil's going to go up, and it's hurting everybody's wallet, especially regular Americans. So I'm because you taught how many times it's the solution. What is going to be the solution for this whole thing, Pat? And I don't see any solution other than literally going in there. I'm not saying I want us to do this, but I'm trying to figure out another way than going in there, invading, and getting rid of the IRGC and freeing the people. There's no other way. What is other? Because then, give me a solution on how this is going to stop. How are we going to stop Iran, Tom, from doing this every single week?
Well, we've heard the talking points about, oh, the Navy's at the bottom of the ocean. Oh, we got this. Oh, we got that. The only things that we know that we've hit is all the ships. We can count the ships where they were on satellite, and now they're not there. They're sunk. So number one. But number two, they've got missile installations everywhere. And these really aren't missiles. These are more like rockets.
Yes.
Right? They've got rockets everywhere. They're hidden 5 here, 4 here, 5 here. That's what they got. They're up in the hills, they're up in the mountains, and they keep launching them. And they keep launching them with some reasonable level of telemetry and guidance systems, and they're getting targeting information. That hasn't stopped. We wait for a week, and all of a sudden, 40 missiles overnight going here, 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 and here. You know, so that hasn't been decimated. And that part is still there and operational, and it appears that they got enough of it that they got this waiting game that they could go out. So we can talk about the Navy, talk about all these talking points, but they still have enough, almost like guerrilla warfare with 5 missiles here, there.
Let me ask you a question, Tom. Let me ask you a question. If Marco Rubio was president right now, or J.D. Vance was president right now, how would they have handled the situation with Iran? Say they're the president right now. How different would they have handled the situation?
If they're right on me, I don't think JD would have started it, me personally. Marco Rubio right now, Pat, I think he'd be a little bit more aggressive.
You think he would have started it?
Marco Rubio?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell me what you think Rubio would be doing differently than Trump right now. So let's go to that. Let's isolate specifically Rubio. What would Rubio be doing differently? You think Rubio sees Iran as a bigger threat than the president does?
Rubio? I think it's pretty equal.
I think it's pretty. I don't think, he makes a good point. I think it's pretty.
Do you think it's equal?
Pretty even, Pat.
You think
Rubio's more?
Do you think Rubio and Trump? I think Rubio is 5% more than the president. I think Rubio is 5% more than the president. I think Rubio.
I agree with that. And I think J.D. Vance is far from the president.
I think Rubio is slightly ahead of the president on how big the threat is, and I think the president is more of a businessman. Where he's like, look, let's just friggin' this is annoying. Let's just come back and do business. Like, focus on Greenland. Let's focus on this. Let's focus on that. I think Rubio would have gone a little harder than the president would have. My opinion.
I agree
I
with
may
you.
be wrong. I think Rubio would have gone a little
I think
harder.
there's one key difference. I think the one key difference is I think Rubio would have made sure that he had succession. Who's going to flow into this gap? We saw what happened when we killed Saddam Hussein in Iraq, and all the crazies just swept in and went boom. It's the same thing if you ever read the book or seen the movie Charlie Wilson's War. The movie dramatized it, you know what Hollywood does. But it was a story of we helped the Afghans get the Russians out of Afghanistan way, way back. And guess what? When we left the vacuum, the crazies swept in. When we killed, when Hussein was found and then executed, the crazies came in. I think Rubio. Oh wait, Venezuela. We knew there was a backup plan. Call it CIA, call it Mikado, call it what you want to call it, but there was a plan for some sort of stabilizing leadership in Venezuela. I think Rubio, Pat, I think he would have made sure that those people the Kurds are going to support this, these people are going to do this, and we're going to have succession. I think he would have had that
This is
plan.
how I see it. This is how I see it. I think all of us, we have a different top five. Let's face it. Like, if you were president right now, your issues would be very different than if Tom was president, than if Adam was president. Everybody has a different priority list. I just think Iran will be slightly higher on the list for Rubio than Trump's, and I think he would be he would be approaching the IRGC in a very different way than the president is. The president, he's negotiated with everybody, and he thinks he can get a deal with everybody. And a part of it is like this. Like, you know how sometimes I'm trying to tell you, you got a kid, and I'm trying to tell you, hey, Vinny, avoid that crowd. And you're like, I got it, man. I'm freaking 30 years old. Leave me alone, Dad. Let's just say you're having a conversation. Vinny, I'm just telling you, avoid that. Dude, are you freaking kidding? I got it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, you know what? Guess what? Go. Every time you ask me for advice, I give you zero advice because I want you to go through it. 6 months later, you go and you hang out with that crowd. You come back and say, man, you got to avoid that crowd. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. You know, I don't say it to you, right? So I think sometimes you have to wrestle with the IRGC to realize they're not, even the nastiest, ugliest person the president ever negotiated with is not at the level of nasty of IRGC.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. I think you got to kind of pick that up and kind of go for that for yourself.
And he's going, but Pat, Trump is going for legacy at this point. And like you said, he just wants, like, get it over with and get it done with. But these guys aren't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. And Marco Rubio's thing, Pat, it would be a whole different approach to it. But what my point still is, this doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon, but the only solution is going to be the one that nobody wants. And it's going to have to be, Pat, literally go in there and get rid of all of them.
And by the way,
root and stem.
The poll that we ran right now with the audience, and I'm going to come to you, the poll says who would go harder at Iran, Trump or Rubio. They put Trump 44, Rubio 56. So even the audience thinks that Rubio would go slightly harder on it. Slightly, not a big. Again, we don't know that. We're purely speculating. Adam, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you on this, PBD. I think what Rubio would do different than Trump, he would not have signed that memorandum of understanding on June 14th. Let's be real here. That memorandum of understanding was for one thing and one thing only. It was sort of a Trump birthday present to the world, basically saying, I got a deal done, look at me. Listen, we all knew that deal wasn't getting done. We all knew at some point that Iran was going to break everything that they basically shook their hand on. And basically, we got to watch out. Like, when Iran shakes a deal, shakes their hand, they're probably doing this in the background. So Rubio probably would have been more of a pragmatic person. Trump is more of a deal maker and deal breaker. At the end of the day, I think Rubio would have gone super hard on these guys. J.D. Vance would have been a little bit different.
We'll see what happened. We'll see what happened here as we're going through it. The reality of it is these are not the typical people you negotiate with. They're just not. And they're not going to keep any of their promises. They're simply not. They're wired in a very different way. Let me get to the next story. The next story I want to get into is Mamdani allegedly had a meeting to meet with the ambassador of Iran. It was on his calendar. And you know what Mamdani said? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even know. I didn't even know I had this meeting on my schedule. Oh, wait, I'm meeting with the ambassador? Yeah. Oh my God, I have such a busy schedule. I would have never had the meeting, but you know what? Yeah, we're not going to have the meeting. Why are you not going to have the meeting? Well, because the State Department shut down the meeting. So if you want to pull up the story, Mamdani's official planned meeting with Iran envoy shut down by the State Department. Go a little bit lower if you can and zoom in. A senior official in New York City Mayor Mamdani administration planned to have a meeting with Iran's ambassador to the United Nations before the State Department reportedly intervened and the meeting was canceled. Commissioner Anna Maria, leader of the Mamdani administration's Office of International Affairs, was scheduled to meet with Iran's permanent representative to the United Nations, Amir Saeed Irvani. Tuesday, City Journal first reported a U.S. official familiar with the matter confirmed to Fox News that the meeting had been scheduled. The reported intervention marks the second known instance in recent weeks in which the Trump administration has stepped in over Mamdani's administration contact with foreign leaders, highlighting growing federal scrutiny of New York City's international outreach under its new socialist mayor. Tom, how big of a story is this?
This is big, and let me tell you why. What's going on when this happens, or when Gavin Newsom did the whole thing, what's this now, 4 years ago with China, you know, and by the way, and swept all the homeless out of town, stuck them on buses, and sent them far enough away that they couldn't hitchhike or walk back until the Chinese were gone, and then put Chinese flags up on there. When a mayor does this, and it's not just, hey, Mr. President, you know, I reach out to you, Mr. President, we're going to do an international trade conference. It's going to be here in San Francisco. We have a lot of trade on here, a lot of semiconductors, but we're going to be doing all this. We're cool, right? We're all right to do this. We're going to have ambassadors and trade representatives. And I come to you, Pat, President, and you would say to me, okay, you can do this, this, and this, 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 and this. Thanks for letting us know. That's probably planned out a year and a half in advance. Instead, we have proxy wars going on. And let me explain what I mean. So this is Mamdani, a freaking proxy war against our own, administration, the same way Gavin did it. This is them trying to do things their way and curry favor with people that they want to have.
What's the outcome?
Political
What's the
allegiance.
outcome?
He wants political allegiance, and he wants funding. He wants a lot of things. He wants funding to come through the dark accounts back into PACs to help him. That's what he's asking for. He's asking for a lot of things. In my opinion, this is Tom's observant opinion.
Asking who?
He's asking Iran and other dark sources of funding to come support him. That's my opinion.
Going there, Tom.
I'm going there. That's what I think. I don't think it's just for, this is just the camaraderie of Muslims in here. No, the aspirations they have are bigger. Listen to Tlaib. Listen to what she was screaming into the microphone this weekend. Their aspirations are bigger. They are doing this, and it's mayors basically running like a proxy war diplomatically against our own administration.
Yeah, and you know, this guy, if there's one thing Americans should be grateful for, is the fact that this guy wasn't born in America. Because if he was born here, you know what this guy would be? He'd be the #1 candidate for president, ahead of everybody. He's just too good on what he's doing. And while this is taking place in New York, another story comes out. Mamdani's immigrant map omits Irish, Italian, Jewish contributors to New York City. New Yorkers are criticizing socialist Mayor Mamdani's administration for touting the map celebrating the city's immigrant enclaves that omits the Italian, Irish, and the Jewish communities that have been such integral parts of the Big Apple history. Mamdani's deputies promoted a new campaign in May to celebrate the city's ethnic neighborhoods with a map entitled New York City's Immigrant Enclaves that features 30 communities, including a number of Muslim communities such as Yemeni, Pakistani, Egyptian, African, Palestinian neighborhoods. Also represented are Chinese, Korean, Albanian, Colombian, Dominican, Ecuadorian, Indian, Haitian, Polish, and other neighborhoods. But critics are ripping the map for ignoring, if you want to pull that up a little bit so they can see it, ignoring European neighborhoods that were the original Little, such as Little Italy, or the long-standing Irish and Jewish neighborhoods that helped build New York City throughout the late 1800s and early 1900s. Queens Republican Councilwoman Joanne Ariola ripped the city hall for exclusionary graphics and told New York Post that it appears Mamdani doesn't think Jews, Italians, and Irish count. The Post reported they were able to get a little Bo Tibet in there, but what about the original little neighborhoods, Little Italy, Councilman Ariola said, and what about the areas like the Woodlawn in the Bronx, which are home to plenty of Irish immigrants? Do the Irish Italians not count for mayor's office? State Assemblyman Kalman Yeager bashed Mamdani for erasing Jews, and he added, Mr. Mamdani, erasing Jews is an essential part of his brand, no surprise. Joseph Scalessa, founder of the Italian American Museum on Mulberry Street, said the mayor's map is a terrible mistake. Italian Americans are still a major population in New York City. To not recognize where Italian Americans came from and settled is a terrible mistake. I don't understand why Little Italy isn't included. Adam, your thoughts on this story?
I mean, what a freaking disgrace. If I'm the average New Yorker, if I'm an Italian right now, and I just woke up and I was like, are you trying to tell me that Mamdani erased Little Italy? I'd be going crazy right now. I think a lot of Italians voted for Cuomo. But the ones that voted for Mamdani, disgrazia, what are you talking about right here? If there was any group of people who helped build New York to what it's become, you got to put Italians at the top of the list. Then you got the Jews, then you got the Irish, and he conveniently left all three of them off the list. But somehow, the great Mamdani, the great wizard of communism, he remembered conveniently little Bangladesh, little Yemen, and of course, little Palestine. Who can't forget the lovely time of year in little Palestine? Click, click, boom. The fact that this is what's going on in the modern day New York. If you're a New Yorker who's been born in New York and you're sitting around and being like, yeah, I like what's going on here, you obviously don't care about your city and you obviously don't care about your country. And Vinny, what's the one line from Big Pun? Back in the middle of Italy.
We riddle some middlemen who didn't do Italy.
There you go. Listen to some Big Pun before you end up in punishment land, Mamdani. Okay, get some Big Pun.
And by the way, Andrew Schultz had Mamdani on, and they did an interview with him.
That's homie. They were glazing all over.
Well, they were interviewing.
They loved it.
Well, they had him on. And it was a very positive, supportive. I'm willing to pay a little bit more taxes.
Yeah.
But even Andrew Schultz this last weekend, who was supportive of Mamdani, came out and said the following about Mamdani saying 78 degrees. This is what Schultz had to say. Go for it.
You say AC? It's 72 and below. 72 degrees and below.
You're even a little high with that one, but I'll let you rock.
I know Zoran was saying keep it at 78.
He's
This is America.
He was feeling a little too good. Knicks at 5. He was like off the high. He was like, but he was wild.
Get a little hotter.
To 64, just despite him even suggesting.
There you go, Joe.
Our AC blew out. It
was cold for a little bit. It was cold for a little bit. It actually blew the fuck out.
So you can pause it right there. I mean, listen, this is how it works. I like certain people's personalities. I don't have to like your ideas. One could like and say, I like Mamdani's personality. Let's just say maybe Andrew likes Mamdani's personality, but not policies. No matter how much I like you, it doesn't mean I have to support your policies. And now it's hitting the city. And now you're seeing things that they would do, how that's going to impact. So what I'm looking forward to seeing is how a lot of the people that were supporting this guy are now going to come out and say, holy shit, what the hell is going on? Are we going to sit here and just take it? And I don't know if you guys are watching what happened. While they're talking about, millionaires and billionaires and all this stuff, guess who's giving themselves the biggest raise? Mamdani comes out and says he's giving himself an 18.2% raise.
That's smart.
That's kind of fair, right? Isn't that great? You get to pick and choose how much taxpayers should give you money. I'm going to give myself an 18.2% raise. Go a little bit lower. Bill Ackman's zoom in a little bit if you can. Billionaire Bill Ackman questions New York City's Mamdani on Tuesday after a mayor-appointed commission recommended an 18.2% salary increase for the mayor. But that's a mayor-appointed commission. So, hey, Vinny, can you please, I'm going to have my wife appoint her as the commission to dictate how much of a raise I deserve, is what I'm going to do. So what did my wife say I deserve? I think she said, you've done such a good job taxing everybody and ruin New York City that I think we should raise your salary by 18.2%. Oh my God, well, I didn't choose the raise. It's a mayor-appointed commission that chose this raise. Mamdani's appointed advisory commission is recommending an 18.2% raise for himself and other elected officials because of inflation. Yet his self-appointed rent guidelines board, which is supposed to consider inflation in setting rents, froze rents for 2 years. Ackman wrote on X, a question for mayor. How is this fair or appropriate? This is the part with contradictions coming up. Vinny, where you at with this? You're a New York guy.
But these are okay. With all these people, with everybody that's disappointed now, like Andrew and everybody, I know it's something small, but it's the air conditioner. I know it's funny, and I get it, he's a comedian, but do you really think these people were that dumb not to know what a freaking self-described socialist, communist, supporter of freaking terrorists? Are you guys surprised? Like, you can't be that dumb. You're educated. You guys are smart. And remember, it was like, I'll pay the 1%, I'll pay the 2%. It keeps going up. They're paying themselves money. And then when people in his office are trying to meet with the ambassador of Iran, like, what? And it was made in error. What are you talking about? This is one of, if not America's biggest enemies. What are you trying to meet, man? If it wasn't for the State Department, Tom, finding out If this was a Democrat-run country, Department of Justice ran by Democrats, they wouldn't care. And what are you meeting about? What are you talking about? And Connor said something earlier today that kind of hit me, Pat, when he said, you're watching like a soft secession happening in New York right now, because Mamdani is acting like New York has its own country with its own foreign policy, its own immigration policy, own economic policy. Unless the federal government, they need money, then they go to the feds, okay? The goal isn't to work with the rest of America. They're trying to take this, one of the biggest cities, the freaking city that never sleeps. They're ruining this place, Pat, and they're fighting against this. And when I tell people, like, this is the enemy from within. And I'm telling you guys right now, it's not an existential, it's not happening right now. But slowly start watching what these people are doing. They hate America. I watched an old clip of Rashida Tlaib and F you mother effers and they hate this country. And if you're too blind to see it and you keep supporting and saying, no, they're caring for the little person, they don't give a damn because their morals, their beliefs don't align with ours. They don't. I'm sorry. They hate this country. All of them talk crap about this country, and they're putting policies and people in charge to destroy us from within. People keep saying the enemy's at the gate. They're not at the gate. They're inside on the couch.
They're in the front yard. They're on the porch.
Sitting on your couch.
For sure they are. For sure they are.
Yeah.
By the way,
Don't let it fool you.
And by the way, here's what I want you to think about. Question for you guys. And while I'm doing this, I want you to search this. Okay? Can you go back to the chart? Okay, don't even go to it. They're trying to raise the mayor's salary to what? 18.2%. All right. Do you know what the salary of the mayor is right now?
$300,000.
$258,000. The 18.2% put him around $300,000. Can you pull that chart up? Okay, so look, if you look at that right there, 258 with the new raise, he would be at 305. The public advocate would go from 184 to 218. The comptroller goes from 209 to 247, and then the borough president goes from 179 to 212. Okay. Now here's a question for you: whose job is a bigger job, mayor's or J.D. Vance?
J.D. Vance.
Whose job is a bigger job, Mayor Mamdani's or Pete Hegseth's?
Pete Hegseth.
How about Marco Rubio or Mamdani?
Marco, it's not even.
Guess what? He makes more money than all three of them.
Weird.
Let me say the number here for you. Do you know the vice president's salary is $235,100? Mamdani makes more money than him. Do you know the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, makes $250,000? Mamdani, mayor of New York City, makes more money than him. Do you know the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, his salary is $250,000? Mamdani makes $8,000 more per year than the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Defense. And he makes $25,000 more per year than the Vice President of the United States. Did you just hear what I just said, right?
I can't believe
a job of a mayor makes more money than all these other guys and what they're doing. So now, who's got more heavyweight right there if you look at it to verify? Vice President, 235. Told the Secretary of State, 250. Secretary of Defense, 221, but now it's at 250, 600. Mamdani makes more money than all of these guys with the job that he has, and they still want to take him to 320.
And
Adam, your thoughts before we go to the next story.
PBD, you just mentioned that Mamdani, his salary is going to be 305, 305,000. I think is that what you said? So there's a story behind the story there. Thank you, Mamdani, for everything you're doing. I always give you credit. Your $305,000 salary is basically taking New York to record high rent. We can roll the numbers. And everybody's moving to the 305 MIA because of you. So I just want to thank you, Mamdani, for everything you're doing. Did you see the news that rent is at an all-time high?
Yeah, if you want to pull that up.
They said it's $5,300. It's almost like they don't understand supply and demand when there's not enough housing and there's high demand because people want to live in the city, and then you implement this rent freeze, and then the owners of these properties are basically saying, yeah, we're not going to fix this up because they can't charge any more rent. So all of a sudden you have this stalemate, and then rent becomes so freaking expensive. Meanwhile, you go to any other random city in America, the average U.S. rent, you want to know what it is? It's $1,600. You were asking people what the average rent was during the Florida debate. I think it was Jay Collins that got that right. But at the end of the day, Mamdani, keep doing what you're doing. Keep basically marginalizing the Italians and the Jews and sending everybody out of New York.
Manhattan average rent right now, median market, $52.95. Brooklyn, $43.50. Okay, $43.50. New York City housing affordability crisis is in DEFCON 1. We need to push harder on every front to address our housing shortage. update zoning, invest more city money in affordable units, lower the time and cost city bureaucracy imposes on construction, get thousands of vacant regulated units back on the market. We need bold action. You know who's that tweeting that? Can you go see who that is? He is the comptroller of New York City. Weird. This is not like a regular guy who's nobody just tweeting something. No. The comptroller is saying there are issues. By the way, can you go to the story of CNBC that came out saying the top 10 worst states to live in? Go to this. By the way, you guys, if you haven't seen this, this is just funny to me. So CNBC woke up and said, let me go write a bullshit article titled Top 10 Worst States to Live in America. You ready? Look at this. These are the 10 worst states to live in 2026. And the things they went off of was crime rates, air quality, healthcare access, worker protection, civil rights. They took out one thing, which I don't know, they're not telling the truth there because I've seen the chart, what it was. Another thing that they had in there was they were looking at, what is the word? What is one of those DEI words that they like to use?
Inclusion.
No, they were looking at inclusion. You're right, inclusion. So if you go a little bit lower, look at the top 10 worst states. Okay, Arkansas was number 10. Okay, go to 9. Look, notice a pattern with all these states. Are they red or blue? Keep going. Oklahoma's next.
Red.
Then they have Alabama. Okay.
That guy's depressed.
Okay. Then they got Missouri. Keep going. Then they got Utah.
Very red.
Then they got Georgia. Keep going.
Purple.
Keep going. Louisiana. Keep going. Go a little faster. Indiana. Keep going. Then you got Texas. Oh, it's one of the worst states. Oh, yeah, for sure. And I look at number 1. Go to number 1. Number 1 is Tennessee. Tennessee is the lowest taxes all in out of all the states. Now, can you do me a favor while they're doing this? Can you do me a favor and go type in
You see when they're looking
2025
at articles,
top 10
and they're looking
best
at articles
and
unbiased,
worst
and you
states
still
in
get
net
the
migration.
LGBTQ
These are states that
and
are gaining the
trans
most
ads.
and losing the most. Type in top 2025. No, just do it on ChatGPT. 2025 top 10. 2025 top 10 states in best and worst net migration. I want you to see this. How the hell do you say these states are the worst states to move into? In net migration, net, N-E-T, migration, net migration. So when you look at this chart, no, you already did 2025. Just press enter. There you go. So top 10 states in net migration. Look what you'll notice here. Look what you'll notice here. If you look at the best and the worst, who do you think's the worst? Who do you think is the worst? Go a little bit lower. Go a little bit lower.
California.
Okay, so the best states is North Carolina, positive 84,000. Texas, number 2. If Texas is so bad and it's the second worst state, why the hell are people moving there? Are they dumb? Is that what you're saying, CNBC? South Carolina's 3, Tennessee's 4. So 2 out of the 4 states that they said is the worst, their top 2, are in the top 4. Then Arizona, Georgia was on their list as the worst. Alabama was on their list as their worst. Florida, Idaho, Nevada. Now look at the worst. Look who's at the top 4 worst. Keep going lower. You did the best and worst, didn't you? Or just gave me the best? Okay. So look at the worst. If you look at the worst with a T, you will notice number 1 is California, minus 229. New York, minus 138. Illinois, minus 40. Jersey, minus 37. Massachusetts, minus 33. Louisiana, 14. Maryland, Colorado, Hawaii, Connecticut are losing. But no CNBC. No, not at all. You want to talk about Texas and Tennessee are the worst states. Why is there a stock exchange going to Texas? Why is Goldman Sachs building a building there that's their second headquarters, 800,000 square feet? Why are all these major companies moving to Texas? Tell us why. Tell us why, CNBC. Oh, inclusivity is bad. And it's one of the main reasons. Really, or is it yours? Can you actually go and see who the hell wrote this article? Go and see who wrote this article for CNBC. I want to know who this person is.
And I can't wait to see.
I just want to know who this person is. Who is this person? Scott Cohen.
Scott.
He's got a hashtag, guys. Scott Cohen. Zoom in a little bit. Journalist, methodology. Go to his website. I actually want to know where this guy went to school.
I can't wait.
Is there any way we can find out where this guy went to school to say those are the top 10 states? Because you know how they do it. They'll take the chart and they'll say, let's add these categories. Oh, take that one out because it made California look bad. Oh, take this one out. No, add this thing in. No, let's add inclusivity. Well, what chart do you want to use for inclusivity? Let's use this here. Let's use that here. And then also, okay, so that's what it is. Yeah, you know what? Make Texas and Tennessee look horrible. You know how many people are moving to Tennessee and they don't want anybody else to know that they're moving to Tennessee? You know how many people are living in Tennessee and they don't want you to move to Tennessee? Do you know how many people that are Texans are hoping this article goes viral because they don't want the wrong type of people to move to Texas? A lot of people. A lot of people. So what did he do? He was at NPR.
University.
And I just want to know what school.
I think he went to Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin.
He went to Wisconsin. Good people come out of there. But so I don't know, maybe he's one of the ones.
40 years experience.
Journalism since 1981, University of Wisconsin, Maine East High School. Board of Visitors School, Journalism, Matching Law School, Internal Information. Yeah. Tom, how do you process these types of nonsense top 10 lists when they rank the 2 best states that a lot of people are moving into?
Well, it's almost like I don't need to process it. You just did, but I'll tell you, I'll give you the why. This is my observation, Tom's observation as to why these get written. These are intentional political voice hit pieces. They wake up in the morning and it's like, hey, look, how do we somehow throw shade for the American people? They're trying to shade the people that aren't paying attention, Pat, that watch CNBC. They're trying to shade these red states and make them seem uninclusive and everything. But you know what the reality is? When people go to these states, they have the same reaction that the visitors from Europe and the World Cup did. Oh my God, Texas brisket is good. What Buc-ee's, what an amazing thing. What nice people. Look at the hospitality we get. Look at all this. And so they find it. This is nothing more than a hit piece politically to throw shade on the success of the red states by, you said it, find an algorithm. Remember, everybody used to pick on Google algorithms. Hey, Google algorithms, they won't give you a fair, remember the accusations, Vinny? They won't give you a fair search on COVID research, on ivermectin research. Somebody's playing with the algorithm. Well, the algorithm is this guy. This guy who is now with NPR Monterey Bay. Oh, there's a neutral news source, NPR Monterey Bay. And he wakes up and he says, hey, look, we got to throw some shade at the other side, Pat, so I'm going to write an article. It's exactly as you say, but what I'm adding to it, my opinion, my observation, these things are intentional and they come from the political direction of the news directors up inside. That is my observation. That is my conclusion based on my own independent analysis. I'm not accusing anybody of a crime. What I'm accusing them of is injecting personal editorial bias and calling for these
Adam, your thoughts
and
on
lining them up.
Look, this is one of those things that if you're solving for something, you'll find some stat that agrees with basically whatever claim you're trying to make. But what's the number one thing that everybody says is the number one issue anytime that it comes to an election? What's the number one thing?
The economy, stupid.
It's the economy, stupid. It's affordability. So if you're talking about the least unaffordable states, not all these other things, air quality, worker protections, inclusiveness, trans rights, ESG, all these things. If you're talking about the least affordable states, there's the top 5. That's California, Hawaii, Massachusetts, New York, and New Jersey. Now, what do all these big, beautiful states have in common? They're all the big, blue, beautiful states. So if you're solving for affordability as the number one thing, those are the states to avoid. And PBD, you hit the nail on the head. Net migration. People are moving to Texas. People are certainly moving to Florida. People are moving to Tennessee. So don't be fooled by these ridiculous stats because they clearly have an agenda on them.
Yeah, Vinny, any thoughts for you?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so there you have it. All right, so that's that story. Next story to get into is this article that came out talking about University of Chicago Law School bans devices to reduce AI reliance, and then it kind of coincides with the other story that shows a wake-up call about AI cheating. Brown University professor says, let me read both of them, and then I'll come to you mainly, and then we'll go from there. So the first story I want to get to is University of Chicago decides they will ban first-year law students from using iPhones, tablets, and laptops in class beginning this fall, seeking to ensure students learn to think critically, strategically, and independently without relying on artificial intelligence. With AI disrupting higher education, our commitment to rigorous legal education also must mean openness to even rapid adaptation. Administrators say a willingness to rethink our practices is consistent with our law school's long history of innovation. After a year of consultation with students, the faculty and law firm leaders, legal technology executives, and the broader university community, administrators concluded that students must develop independent reasoning while preparing to use AI in legal practice. So that's out. Now look at this one. Brown is going through the same thing. Brown University professor Roberto Serrano saw scores collapse between a take-home midterm and an in-person final, which I'm glad they did that, leading him to suspect widespread AI-assisted cheating. Some students fell from perfect midterm scores to below 20% on the final. Serrano teaches welfare economics and social choice theory. The midterm was administered at home after a school shooter killed 2 students in December. Whoa. The problem with this technology is that the cost of cheating has basically gone down to zero. It's very easy for students to succumb to the temptation. After Serrano announced that the final would be held in person, many previously high-score students dropped the course. Did you hear that, Vinny? So these guys scored a high number, take home. All of a sudden they're like, no, we're doing it in school. It's like, oh shit, drop the course. Why? Because they haven't been studying at all. Others who earned grades in high 90s on the midterm scored in the 50s. You scored 90s in a take-home midterm. You're scoring 50s in school. Are you surprised Serrano shared the details with Brown Standing Committee on the academic code on July 8th? University spokesperson Brian E. Clark said the committee would proceed according to the procedure and that Brown treats every academic integrity allegation with the utmost seriousness. Tom, your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, I love both these stories for 2 very key reasons. Number one, University of Chicago Law School, and people may not think of it like this, but law schools and MBA schools, business schools, they want to protect their reputation. And what they don't want is a bunch of people coming out zombies that don't know how to perform. I mean, Pat, how long would it take if you were doing a staff meeting and you're talking about strategy? We got some challenges. Hey, it's February, we have some challenges. We need to make a plan on this and everything. People are sitting in your conference room. How many of them are sitting there on laptop or an email? They're not. We're talking about the numbers in front of us and trying to make a decision. If these people were just AI zombies coming out of MBA school, how long would it take you to figure that out, Pat?
Not long.
15 minutes. And be like, you graduated from Harvard with a Harvard MBA and you can't come in here to this room and just speak intelligently, form sentences, and have your thoughts across and do this. You have to go back to your desk and let AI do for it. So Brown is University of Chicago, they're concerned about, number one, the reputation of the school, number two, the ability of the school to attract students. I love what they're doing. They're saying, time out. Put all those devices away. Let's talk about legal theory. Let's hear you reason. Let's hear you debate a fellow student the way you would in a courtroom. The second is, I love what happened at Brown. And there are people that have stepped out on this and have jumped on it to discuss it. I love the fact that there was a student that got a 95.5 on the midterm and a 95 in person in class on the final. And you know what he said? The teacher stepped back and said, the professor stepped back and said, you know what, I regarded that individual through observation throughout the semester as an excellent student and attentive in class, and I felt that he would probably do well. I was not, guess what? So he's observing him in class, and then he gives him the in-person final. The guy goes, okay, let me take care of this. Boom, 95 and 95, which means he didn't cheat on the midterm. It's very, very even. Then there was another student he said I liked equally well, but the guy was somewhat less initiated, and he had a 55 in the midterm and a 55 in the final. Guess what? Consistency. Maybe he's working 2 jobs, maybe what it was, maybe he's struggling with the class, but the 2 scores proved he was there. I love these 2 stories because it's shining a light on it, that AI may be able to do assimilated research for you. AI may be able to take some time. We use it for prepping for podcasts here. But when AI does the job for you, it's not you and you're not getting smarter. And you've got Brown and University of Chicago, both blue schools who are waking up to it, and I love it, Pat.
Hey, Adam, your thoughts on this?
Well, the funniest thing that stuck out to me with this whole AI thing is, did you see the line where they said, professors will designate classroom scribes to take notes for first-year classes? You see that? And scribes, they haven't used scribes since medieval times. Like, I know people, there's a lot of people out there that want to bring back the Crusades. I'm not advocating for that just yet. But when we're using scribes in classrooms right now, it's like maybe we've jumped the shark on this AI thing. And PVD, I know you're a big basketball fan, but I'll tell you this. I remember, there's unfair advantages, right? So I remember when I was in 9th grade, they put me with the middle school team to play. I was scoring 30 points a game. 30 points a game, they're like, dude, you're crushing it. They go, okay, now you're going to play with the high school kids. I started averaging 10. Okay, maybe I had an unfair advantage with the kids that are in middle school. But when you actually start competing and not using technology and unfair advantages, basically cheating, you're basically going to be a reversion of the mean. So I think this is going to become inevitable, whether it's medieval times, crusades, or taking away unfair advantages. Kids are going to have to put down the phone and actually learn in order to do their job moving forward.
Yeah, there you go. Look, I like that they're doing this, and I don't set aside politics. If I'm taking a test home and I'm getting 95 and I'm doing it in school, I'm doing at 50, what the hell are you teaching the kids to go to school? If I'm a parent, I'm like, why am I sending my kids to college? Screw college. I'm not even paying for this thing anymore. Parents get upset if they hear something like this. All right, let me get to the next story. Next story I want to get to is, I got so many good stories to go to. I'm trying to see which one to go to next. Let's go to the Gavin Newsom saying Elon Musk owes him things. So I want you to see this video. He's doing an interview. And they're talking about his experience with Elon Musk. And he says, well, you know, he owes us a lot of success. And you know where he's doing this? He's doing it here. And you know what he's doing? He's doing it here. You know what he's doing? He's doing it here. As if he hasn't already made enough enemies that he doesn't need help with. There's two clips. You have the clip because we sent it to you. One of them was, is that the one? So I want you to watch this clip.
And can I warn people?
Yeah.
Guys, do me a favor if you're watching this. Don't let his hand gestures mesmerize you because you're going to lose the stuff that's coming out of his mouth. Try not to pay attention to his hands.
Go ahead.
Elon Musk.
Look, one of the great disappointments. One of the great innovators of our time. I brought up Edison before. He's Edison of our time. It breaks my heart. I was the first, one of the first Teslas off the line. I've been one of their biggest proponents, supporters. It was regulation in California that created the conditions that allowed him to take the risk to become the multi-billionaire, maybe trillionaire that he's become, including Solar City and some of the regulatory frameworks that launched Elon Musk. And he launched this space. Now he's going to space, and he's now turning his back, not only in the state that promote him, though he has no problem getting the R&D tax credits and moving his world headquarters on R&D here and having Grok here and most of his talent here, which is also interesting. But right now he's allowing, and I think this is Trump, not just Elon Musk, he's going to allow the greatest on-goal in, I think, one of the most significant on-goals in the next decade is ceding the EV space to China. They have 70% of the global EV market. It's about statecraft with them. It's about supply chains. They're flooding the zone all around the globe, including now right on the border into China, into Canada, where they're going to have 49,000 cars getting that tariff down there. And it's a stack play. It's a national security play. And I really fear what's going to happen to American legacy automobile manufacturers. Elon was the one accelerating that. Now he's put the brakes on his own innovation in that space and now shifted to robotics, humanoids, including the line.
If you were in fact check on this, we would have to do a 24-hour podcast. The number of things on there is just shocking. So I'll sum it up as this. This is Gavin Newsom clearly throwing shade on Elon Musk and it just really seems he's trying to take credit for the regulatory environment that somehow gave Elon Musk a blank canvas. Elon Musk didn't have a dream to go to Mars because of a blank canvas California gave him. Let me tell you, eBay bought PayPal at the end of 2022. Within 7 months, 2002. Within 7 months, 2003, Elon had launched Tesla, and then he took it public in 2010. Look at the amount of time it took. Do you think in 7 months the state of California could have done anything? No. And by the way, Gavin Newsom wasn't in Sacramento in 2003 when he built Tesla. Gavin Newsom, when did he become governor? Was he governor in 2010 when Elon Musk went public? No. Good grief. Oh yeah, but he's intimating that his regulation is there. So I think this is disingenuous, Pat. I'm not going to go on and on. I'm going to say it's disingenuous. It takes so many words to say it, which tells you how much he's trying to stretch and morph the argument. And I think this is an insult to entrepreneurs everywhere for you to sit back, because guess what? He's taking a page out of the old playbook, and I'm going to quote somebody. First of all, you got a pack of Salems, okay, and second of all, you didn't build that.
Yeah. That like your mic drop moment, Tom?
That is. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm saying he's saying the same thing that Obama said when you didn't build that.
I got it, Tom. You know what's annoying about this kind of stuff is how entitled politicians sound like when they talk that way. How entitled they sound when they talk that way. It is so flippant annoying when you hear them talking the way that they do, as if like you owe them something. You know, this guy goes and creates all these jobs. Like, yeah, let me tell you, he forgot. Oh, stop it already! Stop it already! Pretty long for what he's doing. Newsom, where he had another clip. I don't know if you have the other clip with taxes. Do you have that one? Check this out. He's getting a lot of people are saying he's getting nervous with this because how quickly he try to redirect and put it on Trump. Watch this.
Have you had 20 years of my taxes? Yes. I know you love taxes. Donald Trump's when's he releasing here? Well, I am, because that's why I released all my taxes for decades, and you will have all those new tax returns.
Yeah.
Because I have no reason why you haven't gotten them already, so I have no reason.
He's just brushing people off.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Arrogant.
when you has he actually released his taxes for 20 years? Because if he has, why is he getting so nervous?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he has as a governor, but he just kind of looked a little bit uncomfortable. And you know the allegation with the fact that his wife allegedly took a lot of money from that charity. I don't know what the number was, 2.8 million
2.8
or something like that. No, by the way, the report says Gavin Newsom has not released 20 years of his taxes. Newsom released multiple years of tax returns during his political career, including filing covering 5 years through 2020 when he ran for re-election in California. In those disclosed, Newsom and his wife, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, reported $1.5 million income in 2020 and paid about $480 in taxes. Newsom has pledged to release his taxes every year in office, but he has not made additional return public since 2020. So he's lying. He hasn't released his taxes since 2020. And what was the one report? Was it the $2.8 million? Is it the $2.8 million that we saw?
I think so. With the diaper situation.
The most advanced diapers of all time according to their price.
I think I saw that where she got paid. So then that's why he's getting nervous, because if you did release your taxes, why would you be so nervous? You don't have to be nervous. So now we know he hasn't released his taxes. You're Gavin Newsom, yes, there has been claims involving amounts in the millions, but the details matter. The $2.8 million figure appears to refer to money connected to her nonprofit work in related entities over time, not a simple salary paid to her personally. IRS filings show she received compensation from nonprofit. One analysis reported that her total compensation from the organization at about $1.8 million from 2011 to 2024. And then there's some numbers that are 2.8 to 3.7 million. But just look, you know what the tax situation is? If he's good, he's good. I mean, what do you call it? Election's coming around the corner next couple of years. He's got to be ready for it. I will tell you this, though, for the state of Texas, you know we made 4 hats for different states. Can you go and show those hats I sent to you? For the people that are proud Floridians, these hats were on fire at the gubernatorial debate. It's your hat, future looks bright on the front, and your state, if you can go next so they can see the Florida on the side.
Oh, nice.
This is one of the, no, on that, yeah, just go to the next slide, go to the next slide, go to the next one to show Florida on the side.
Not a sponsor for
right,
them,
I don't know
but
if you see it. Boom,
they
have
do
Florida
make good
there. And then we have
stuff on their
3 other
website.
states.
I'm
We have
about to be.
California, we have Texas, if you can go to Texas. Reason why I want Texas to get some love, look at that. One of the hottest items we got is this here, because people proudly say future looks bright living in Texas. To the people in California and New York, you know, I got a Yankees gold chain that my wife got me for my birthday.
gangster.
And I've had this for a few years, and I'm wearing a Yankees jacket. I want to see New York succeed. Are you flipping? And I lived in California for 24 years. Every one of these states I have a direct relationship with. So if you are proud Floridian, proud Texan, proud Californian, or proud New York, go up there and represent these hats. Can we put the link below? And by the way, if you go to vtmerch.com, just put the Texas in the search, the hats will come up like this. Anyways, let's get to the next story. Next story I want to get into is a story about, let me see which one we should go to. I got quite a few good stories to get into. Do we want to go into what Marco Rubio did? Let's go into Marco Rubio. Vinny, I'm going to come to you with this one. Last week we reported on a story that Vinny brought to us. A man had raped a 10-year-old. And I'm like, there's no way this story is true. And the guy comes out and says, this is our culture. And as we got deeper, you know what we learned about the story? The man who raped the 10-year-old married the 10-year-old's sister. And later on in life, the sister said, I don't want to judge him. We've moved on. Our family's doing great. We want to do nothing about that. Wait, what? And then the governor, Tim Walz, allegedly pardons him.
He pardons him so he doesn't have to get deported.
Back to
wants
his
to keep
country.
him here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this guy's from where? Laos.
Laos.
Yeah. So Marco Rubio suddenly, people forget about the story like, wait, this is it? Marco Rubio's like, no. That 10-year-old girl that was raped who says now he doesn't need to be held accountable. You live in America. We have laws here, and we protect people here. And this is what Marco Rubio had to say. Go for it.
Just weeks ago, a convicted sex offender and a foreign national was shielded from deportation by the governor of Minnesota. Laotian national Tu Li Bang was convicted of repeatedly sexually abusing a 10-year-old girl in the state of Minnesota. He even tried to pay his victim for her silence, and he called his heinous crimes a minor thing. Just days before this foreign sex offender was scheduled to be deported, Tim Walz, the governor, issued him a pardon, setting him free to once again endanger the children of America. Well, this week I revoked his legal status in the United States, and as a result, federal agents took him into custody, and as of today, he has been removed from the United States. Because of our action, this foreign criminal will never pose a threat to any American, ever again. Americans must never be forced by their elected leaders to live alongside foreign sex criminals who have no right to begin with to reside in our country. This administration will always stand with the American people and defend them from violent criminals.
And can you do me a favor, Pat? Umberto, can you show what Tim Walz said about it? Tim Walz is sitting there, guys, and saying that he feels sorry. He feels sorry that he goes, I find no reason how it's safer. Like, it's crazy that we're in this AI world. I have to keep checking if this is fake or if it's real. And this is a real clip of him. Mind you guys, this is a guy that repeatedly, he did so much bad stuff to this child that when I go to ChatGPT and I'm trying to help them word my stuff and structure my thing, it says, this content can't be shown for safety reasons. ChatGPT won't even let me research this topic because it's so bad, and this is what Tim Walz's attitude is towards this child rapist. Go ahead.
This is about the guy we just watched?
This is about the guy.
And this is 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Go for it.
That's
I would state this, that
this is ridiculous.
I can
We have
find no reason how
state
Minnesota would be
representatives
safer or better if
keeping
Mr. Bang is deported
pedophiles
to a
on the
country
street.
he's not been to since he was a child.
Look, stop, do you stop that right there? Is everybody listening to what the hell he said? I don't see how America is going to be safer without a child rapist, Pat. I've talked about this before, guys. Alcoholism, all this stuff. You still have that disease. Like I'm gonna be a drinker. I'm not drinking, but it's still in me. You know what I'm saying? You have temptation, but for me, it's almost all gone. If your thing is child rape and molestation and pedophilia, that doesn't just go for. You don't go to an AA meeting. You're like, yeah, I'm recovering. No. That stays with you forever. And his attitude is, I want to keep this person here and not send him to Laos because it's going to be unsafe for him. Is that crazy? And what really, really scares the hell out of me is this guy, Tim Walz, was a couple of swing states away, Pat, from becoming the vice president of the United States. And we keep talking about enemies from foreign and domestic. This is the people, guys.
Where does this guy live, by the way?
He was somewhere in Minnesota.
I'm telling you, like, if this guy, like,
I already know. I already know where you're going.
This is.
Look at him, Pat.
This is. You know. There's got to be a game. I can't even get this too crazy of a game. There's got to be a game for people like this to, you know how you watch that show? Is it Squid Games?
Squid Games.
And then what's the other one? The Squid Games, and there's another game like that that's on TV that's like people like to watch where Survivor or whatever, you make it or you don't make it.
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games.
Take these types of people and move them to a country that is laws are different than here, and do a real life Squid Game.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point of this? Forget about them. At least turn it into entertainment and watch them go through it. Instead of having them sit here.
Yep.
Maybe Squid Games, whoever came up with that idea, is a good idea to take some of these people like this for others to say, dude, I don't ever want to be in that game.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't ever want to be in that game. Go for doing what you're doing to that 10-year-old kid, and then later on. And he was an adult when he did that.
Of course he was. But so my question is to you, Pat. You're a father living in Minnesota, and you hear your governor saying, wait, this child rapist, I'm not going to send him back home. He's safer here. Is that boggle anybody else's mind?
Let me get to the next story.
Alien versus Predator.
The next story. The next story I want to get to is
it's not funny, but
a very different story that we have we'll be going through. So, should we go into the World Cup or not yet? Nah, I'm not going to go into the World Cup. Let me get to the CEO story. So check this out. It's a great story. Chipotle CEO uses team dinners to spot potential leaders, and there are 4 qualities he looks for. I actually like this. There's 4 qualities he looks for. Okay, so Chipotle CEO Jason Kidd, no relation to the other Jason Kidd,
Basketball player.
visits about a dozen stores each week, ending his days with roughly 90-minute dinners, attended by 3 or 4 of his regional employees. The meal helps strengthen operations, reveals employees' careers, ambitions, and identifies candidates for internal promotion. We're constantly identifying internal team talent during these visits, seeing how people show up, and seeing how they react. Chipotle promoted 23,000 workers last year, including all of its new regional vice presidents. As of March, the chain employed more than 135,000 people across 4,100 locations and plan to open as many as 370 new restaurants this year. Kidd, who joined Chipotle last year after serving as Taco Bell COO, looks for 4 qualities in potential leaders. First, they care for colleagues and collaborate effectively. At the end of the day, we run a people business, so you need to make sure you take care of your own people. Collaborations and relationship building become increasingly important as employees move into senior role. Number 2, strong candidates who own the outcome. They take responsibility for results, whether positive or negative, and assess their performance honestly. If somebody can own the outcome of what they're doing, they're likely going to be a good leader. Number 3, they anticipate problems. This is like our language. I'm loving what he's saying here. They anticipate problems instead of merely reacting. We don't need firefighters. We need people who could be ahead of the issues and anticipate what's going on. And last but not least, they solve problems rather than simply identifying them. Restaurant operations inevitably produce difficulties, and effective leaders arrive with solutions instead of raising concerns. By the way, this one you think about, so if you really, one of them is what? Collaborate effectively, they own the outcome, they anticipate problems instead of just reporting it, and last but not least, they solve problems instead of just identifying it. So for the last 20-some years, one of the things I used to do when we first started our insurance company is, and I told you this story, I think maybe I told you this last week, every Tuesday night, I would cook for my guys. So we would finish our sales meeting at the office, and Tuesday night when it's over with, people would come to my house, and I would ask people to bring their wives or bring their family. So we had this place, and I'm making my famous chicken barbecue that I do, which is legendary. You age backwards. A lot of people say when you eat it, you age backwards. And you actually get younger. When I used to make this barbecue in my apartment 25 years ago, everybody in the community would show up because they could smell it. Can I get a piece? And I'd say, here, take a piece. Here, get it. It was just phenomenal. But anyways, I'm cooking. And you know what it is when I'm cooking? I'm talking to people. So, hey, tell me how long you guys been together. Oh, wow, okay. So what do you do right now? What do you think about this insurance thing he's trying to do? Well, I don't really think it's going to work. Do you think it really works? What's your concern about working and not working? What are your dreams? I said, well, we'd like to one day, how long you guys been married? 12 years. Did you think 12 years ago when you guys got married, you would be in the situation you are right now financially? No, never thought that. Okay, so what did you think life would look like after being married for 12 years? I thought 12 years later we would be in da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so if you don't do anything differently now, what's life going to look like 12 years from now? Oh, probably the same. So what alternatives do you have? What choices? Not a lot. So, okay, so maybe this is something you ought to entertain and support your husband. Yeah, that does kind of make sense. And then we would have that conversation. Then I would be like, ooh, that guy's wife I like because she's positive, she's supportive. Oh, she is super negative. Well, you can pray for him. Nothing's going to happen with him because she is such a negative. So this model of getting to know your guys, just last week, was it last week when I was making the omelets for people? I don't know what it was. Yeah, maybe a week ago, week and a half ago, I'm making omelets. I made 100 omelets that day for 2 hours.
I'm not going to front. They were pretty
good. You know what was the one thing about making the omelets? Every omelet takes about 2 minutes to make. It takes about a minute and a half to make. You know what time I had? I had a minute and a half to 2 minutes to get to know you. So where are you from? What's your background? How long have you been with us? What do you do here? I'm an engineer of yours. So what else do you do? Da-da-da-da. I think more leaders need to get hands-on to get to know their people effectively. And by the way, I'm going to give a book recommendation to you guys right now. This is a book that anybody that reports directly to Bezos has to read. You ready? The book is called The Goal. It's sold over 10 million copies. I recommend you buy this book and buy the audiobook and listen to the audiobook while you're reading the book. It's a ridiculous book to read. It's a ridiculous book to read. On operating. And the story of the guy in the book, he's going through marital issues. His wife leaves him while he's operating. So it depicts the exact challenges that a person goes through who is trying to be a good executive, good person running a company, that there's a lot of additional moving parts and stuff that happens that you're not aware of. So I highly recommend reading this book. I got another one here I'll recommend to you here in a minute as well. But as a COO or CEO, if you don't get to learn stories about your guys long term and you don't find out who the stars are, sometimes stars will be hidden underneath a shielding manager that doesn't want you to know that the real star is under that person. Like, whoa, we would have never found out about that person. And you have to overlap them. You have to overlap them, or else there's going to be so much politics taking place and you continue losing good people year after year, and that's not a good thing for you to do. I want to get to the next story. Next story is, and by the way, Tom, I'll give you something here, because you as a COO for the last 20 years, you've been very good at, I've watched you personally develop some incredible leaders yourself. You've been instrumental in the way you've helped with Moral becoming a better executive, whether it's Tikram, whether it's Mario, whether it's a lot of different people. What are some things you do when you're locked? I mean, some of the people that Tom had ended up becoming the CMO of Snapchat. I mean, the people that Tom's worked with the last 30, 40 years became players. What would you say you look for when you're developing people on your team?
I look at it, adaptability and ability to learn, secondary. The first thing I look for is just people that are really passionate and sharp about their skills. If they're passionate and sharp about it, they're constantly honing it, they're constantly trying to be better. That's the individual part. But then I want to look at adaptability and learn, because I give people frameworks. Hey, if you're going to be a leader over here, here's the framework that you have to do. This is what you have to do as a leader. You have to lead people. And one of the phrases I give to people, I says, look, it can't get done by you. It's got to get done through you, through a larger team. Not by you, but through you. That's the leadership development, and if they'll adapt and they'll learn and they'll apply, then I can take somebody that's got good technical skills, like Moral was phenomenal with commission. She was great with finance, great with focus. And I said, look, I think you can influence so much more, because where you're going, get it done not by you, but through you, and then influence the people while maintaining the culture that you're under. The other part that I really focus on people is I say, look, you've chosen to be here, wherever here is. Whether that is Jamdat back in 2004, or whether that's PHP or this Valuetainment or Bet David Consulting, and there are cultures there. Are you bought into what this organization wants to do? Because that's not about Tom developing you, that's are you bought into this? And then I can run with that, because I'm working with and for you. And as soon as they commit to that, and I says, okay, then I think you're going to be successful here. But then it's a million little things as you walk the road.
Yeah, and I've seen you go through it, and it's Tom's ability to project manage is phenomenal. I mean, we're offsite, so we're doing stuff here, preparation podcast. One of the things I'll always do with Jake, I'll say, Jake, give me the entire list, checklist of everything we need to do, and he'll come in and boom, 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 boom. And if we don't have checklists created to get certain things knocked out of the way, we're missing a wire, we're missing a this, we're missing a that, we're missing a this. No, checklist, put the stuff together so you don't have to go through it as you're building it. But major shout out and prayer to Moral and her family. They had a very unfortunate situation this past weekend that was tough for all of us to go through. But our prayer and love is with that entire family. We love them, and just so you know, we're thinking about you all the time. And we love you guys. We love that entire Kishishi and Beckham family, one of the most special families I met in my life. Such a special group of people. Anyways, okay. Let's go to the next story. Next story I want to get into is something that has to do with leadership, and I want to address, and I kind of like this story. It has to do with World Cup, but it's different, and it's complicated, and it's a very, very complex situation. So the World Cup matches we watched, we saw what happened. So let's kind of go through a couple of them, right? So who got kicked out? So, England beats
Norway.
England beats Norway and Holland, which, by the way, if you watch that game, there's a clip that you have where this one teammate of Holland could have passed to him twice. He didn't. There's all this commentary afterwards. The clip we're playing is from a fan, so we can show it. It's not a clip from ESPN. So I want you to see this clip here. This right here is Alexander Solrod, who is going in, and look who is wide open. Who do you see is wide open?
Right there,
Holland.
pass.
He's the, you look at him.
Oh my God.
Get the freaking pass.
No, he wants
so
to
guess
take a
what?
shot.
He wants to be the scorer. And then Holland's like, what are you doing? And by the way, in the post-game interview, he even said, we could have made some better decisions. You can tell he's defeated. Give me the flip. There's a reason why he's the number 3 scorer in his first World Cup for Norway. All he had to do was pass. This goes overtime. Who knows what happens? So who ends up winning? England. And by the way, there's a few people that won millions, if not tens of millions of new fans. Holland is probably at the top of that list. Messi's always had him. Ronaldo's always had it. Vizinho is the one that probably won the most. The goalie is like, holy shit, who is this guy? Now it's going to remind me. But let me tell you what's going on here that's very interesting. So no one's talking about, everyone's saying Spain's going to win it. France is going to win it. Argentina's going to win it. You know who no one's talking about? No one's talking about England. They're not talking about England. And you know who's England about to face? Argentina. And guess what? You know when's the last time they faced? It's the hand of God.
Hand of God.
You know which goal I'm talking. If they had VAR back in the days, Argentina ain't winning the World Cup, just so you know that. It would have been a hand of God. So check this out. The coach of England is the third non-British coach they've ever had. Third non-British coach they've ever had. And UK, England, they have two of the top 5 biggest scorers in this World Cup in England. Kane and Bellingham. If I'm saying it correctly, correct me there, Jake, if I'm not saying it correctly. Okay, while this is going on, England in 2025 decides to go get this coach. His name is Thomas Tuchel, however we want to pronounce it. And this guy, just to kind of give you his resume, he was a soccer player as a kid. He was a defender. His father coached him. He tried to go pro. He played some minor league type of soccer stuff. At 25 years old, he gets an injury. He decides to go into business. And then he goes and becomes a bartender while he's trying to be a coach.
Damn.
And then eventually, he gets the opportunity. He's 52 years old. Later on, after retiring, he ends up coaching. And he ends up winning his first major trophy with Borussia Dortmund, lifting Germany Cup in 2017. Then at PSG, he won League One. Then took PSG to their first ever Championship League final in 2020. They lost to Bayern Munich, a team that he beat when he was with Dortmund. Then he becomes a Champions League winner with Chelsea in 2021, beating Manchester City in the final. This is a legit coach here, okay? Then he wins the UEFA Super Cup and FIFA World Cup with Chelsea in 2021. Then he's named the FIFA Coach of the Year in 2021. Now he's his reputation. This is the part that gets tricky, and it's all about leadership and business. He's got a reputation of being a tactician, being a perfectionist, and super demanding with his players. Super demanding with his players. Which, you know what ends up happening because of this personality that he has? They win the game. When they win the game, he doesn't sound like a coach that is happy about them winning the game. And he kind of calls out the team, and Bellingham didn't like it. This is what the coach had to say, and then I'll show you what Bellingham had to say. Go for it.
There's no mentality problem. This is pure mentality.
This is a dangerous coach for Argentina.
Pure mentality. You can bottle it up and sell it. This is, yeah, so where's the problem for mentality? We made life very, very difficult for ourselves.
They won.
Today. The result is fantastic. We're in the last 4. It's amazing, but not happy with the performance.
Can you imagine?
Ever since. Because, again, the commitment is there, but we made life very, very difficult for us in the way we played, how we played. Sloppy, a lot of technical mistakes, not fast enough, not repetitive enough. We were lucky today.
Was that the occasion? Getting to the players?
No, it's just
mentality.
I want you to pause right here. Pause right here. Okay. So he's the kind of coach that is a super annoying coach for players, but a great coach if you're the country or the team that's hiring that coach. By the way, do you know each team, each job that he had, I think he had a fallen out disagreement or got fired. After they won the Chelsea championship, 2 months later he got fired. He left because of disagreements with management. So this is a very difficult guy. So then watch what Bellingham says. Bellingham knows. So imagine you just won.
And you scored 2 goals.
And you just scored 2 goals back to back. I don't know how many people have scored back to back 2 goals in that much of a elimination run. I think he's one of only 2 players that's ever done this.
Probably.
So it's not like he did something small. And look what happens to him. Look what he says. Look what the guy asks and look what he says. Go for it.
Thomas has just been quite critical of the performance after the game. Does that show the standards that he expects, the standards you guys expect of each other, and maybe that there's more to come from the team?
Maybe, but maybe he doesn't know what it's like to play in those kind of conditions against Erling Haaland, Odegaard, Nusa, Sorloth. You know, that's not an easy team to play against.
He doesn't know.
So, you know, I think we've tried to create a positive environment. We should continue that going into the Final Four. I can't speak highly enough of the lads. You're not going to win every game popping the ball and making 1,000 passes. Sometimes you have to win dirty, and we've done that again tonight.
Okay, so now you hear something like that, okay, and then the coach is asked again and again in a different interview. I'm not going to play that. He's still saying we're not there yet. You know who should be worried? Argentina should be worried.
I was just going to say.
All I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
All I'm saying to you is you don't ever want the opposing team to have a coach like that. You don't ever want, and by the way, typically coaches like that create that much pressure, Bellingham and him may not be able to play together twice. This may only happen one time. Yeah. England may end up winning the World Cup this year because they got a psycho coach like that.
I think so.
To get a person like that demanding where the freaking guy scores 2 goals, and after the game, he's like, you look at his face, and look, he looks disgusted. Look at Bellingham's face. He looks, go a little bit, that's not Bellingham, go a little bit, he looks disgusted.
Yeah.
He's like, I know you're going to ask me this shitty question. I don't want to answer it. So, my wild card to everybody out there.
Here we go.
Look, I want France or Argentina. I want a rematch. But I tell you, this coach, and this team is, this coach is a real coach. This team is a real team. If you think for a second, England's going to walk through England, and Argentina's going to walk through England, I think you have another thing coming. I hope Argentina is aware and paranoid enough of what these guys are capable of doing.
The coach's mentality reminds me, I have only one thing to say, Pat. The coach's mentality reminds me of one thing that both you and I hold close to our heart. When I hear him talk, you know what I hear in my head? Job's not finished.
That's right. That's right. But that's a tough type of person to work with.
Or play
and
with.
So, yeah, to work with, to play with, any of that stuff. If you can have the tolerance, you will win a lot of championships, but you have to be willing to have the same size of a... And by the way, if they win, you realize what happens if England wins?
Oh.
If England beats Argentina, then England beats France or Spain, holy shit.
Yeah.
Again, full disclosure, I have one of Mbappe's best cards I bought 5 years ago for $250,000. Financially, I'm
yeah, of course.
I want to see Argentina, France, but I like the coach of England.
And can we be honest? Because
Yes.
we've watched how many
Yes.
games at this point? I don't, and I know we have a bunch of people around us that love Messi, and they don't have it this year. They don't have it this year.
England?
No. I don't think Argentina has it.
Yeah.
Don't get, guys. Messi to me is the best. He doesn't have the attitude of Cristiano Ronaldo posting old school 2016 stuff or whatever. I'm just telling you guys because we watch every game. France is having fun. Mbappe is electrifying. They're like enjoying the game. At the end of the day, guys, it's a game. If you're not having fun, if you're just like, oh, you're not going to win.
Mbappe looks.
looks
France is
like
the only team that looks like it's superior to everybody else.
1,000%. But Pat, me personally, I love this type of attitude from a head coach. Think about it. They're singing Wonderwall and having a great time. Yeah. You haven't won anything. I want a coach to be like, yo, we made this many mistakes, and it's not like he's lying. Check the tapes. They were playing a little bit, loose and, not fouling at the wrong time or playing lazy. Like, I want that. You don't want anybody kissing your butt and you're down to 4. Yeah. I think it's good, Pat. I like that tension because now you know what's going to happen. Bellingham has a little freaking grudge now. He's going to go out there and be like, okay, you want to play games? I'm going to score 3 goals.
If Bellingham gets 2 goals again,
oh my God,
back to back in eliminations, one of the greatest single performances in the elimination round ever by players. So,
I think so.
Adam, any insight from you?
Well, I'll tell you from experience, you want to know the most annoying person to work for or be coached by is someone with high standards. It is so annoying and demanding, and someone with high standards will make you question everything. But here's what I've learned. The coach with high standards, the leader with high standards will get more out of you, get more out of the people that work for him or that play for him than any other coach. And believe me, I know from experience, and I'm not even talking about you, PBD. All my sports, I'm just saying, every time that I've had a coach in school, anytime there's like, oh, he's a player's coach. He's a player's coach. You can be likable and the people like playing for you, but you don't necessarily win. The coaches that have gotten the most out of me, and I played college football, I played basketball, high school basketball, everything above. The guy who you're like, oh my God, would this guy just leave me alone?
Run a poll.
That guy is going to get the most out of you.
Run a poll to see who the audience thinks is going to win the World Cup. Argentina, England, France, or what's the last one? Spain.
Spain. Can I
Spain
guess?
is the most boring team to watch play. I just can't do Spain. It's so flippin' boring. It's like watching the 1990 San Antonio Spurs or the early 90s Cavs with Mark Price and Craig Elo and Brad Daugherty and bullshit. Just a boring team to watch. But
before we
watch Spain end up winning the whole thing. I'm about to get all these Menex from Spaniards upset at me because Lamine Yamal is going to be passing up everybody. But stop it.
Okay, if you had to guess right now from our audience, what percentage is going to be, who's going to be number 1 and 2?
I think number 1 will be Argentina. I think number 2 will be France. I think it'll be, because of what I just said, influence England a little bit, and then I think it'll be Spain. But let's see.
I'm gonna say France, our audience, France, Argentina, England, Spain.
Well, but you know, if we put Portugal, some people would have voted
Of
Portugal,
course.
even though they're out.
Of course.
Portugal fans are delusional fans, and
Of
you
course.
love them; they're good people. But my gosh, who's first? Oh, they put France first, Argentina second, England third, Spain last. There's something about Spain that's just boring as hell. My
They're right.
goodness.
They're right. Look at that.
I
Oh, Pal's
watched
right.
Spain.
France is 1.
Seriously?
Argentina 2.
There you go.
England, let's
All
go.
right. Okay. I just want to see a rematch. I just want to see a rematch, but coaches like that, man.
Ooh,
That's
I can't wait
All right,
now.
let's do 2 other stories and a wrap up. Again, folks, your brother 80, I told you, stick around. It's a health matter. It's the last thing we're going to look at. It's very important. But the first thing I want to get into is the following. So Conor McGregor, everybody was waiting for this 5-year of him not fighting. Oh my God, Conor's going to fight Holloway, and you know what everybody was looking forward? This sign.
Yeah, come, let's fight
Because
right
Holloway
now
was
in
like,
the
let's go bam, 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 going back and forth. And then next thing you know, we're sitting there, and you know everybody's up. You know, it's Argentina game's going on while this is going on. Ah, shit, which one should we watch? So we're watching the fight on the phone, and we're watching the game on TV because the game is more important than the fight. And then all of a sudden, boom, 5 seconds, it's over. What? What happened there? And then the speculation started. 4 days ago, he went and saw a doctor with his leg, and we can't show that clip, by the way. We cannot show that clip.
don't show
No,
that.
that's the one right there. No, you have it right there, where he's walking into.
Is that this is Hollywood fix? And that's
Conor McGregor was seen walking into Newport 4 days before he.
Yeah, I
can you
wonder how
check with
people are
AI
gonna-
to see
I wonder how
it-
people are gonna feel
management
now
claim.
Do me a
because
favor and check to see.
if
Can you
people
go on
think
the
that
bottom
the
of it and
UFC
see if
is
this is
staged
true?
now. Like, I want to know if people genuinely
the bottom
will
of the
think
truth.
that now.
Yeah. Typically,
Because I
people
mean,
will
I
do it,
was
if
the
you wanna
one
do
that was
yours.
also
looks
looking forward
pretty
to seeing
real.
McGregor fight
Okay,
again.
so
dude,
please,
after
we'll
that
clarify, verify
fiasco.
claims. Okay, so some people said there are already community note. In this video, Conor appears normal with no visible limb. Reports confirm his leg injury occurred during the opening minute of the fight. So he looks fine. By the way, anybody would go there right before a fight as well. It's not like he is limping. To me, he looks normal. A lot of people said he looked bad here. Now, pre-fight, he was standing there. He was kind of, having a hard time standing on one of the legs. But then while he was practicing, he was kicking. So
Yes.
it's not like he wasn't kicking and throwing kicks in the back, just preparing for the fight. And then to go a little bit lower, and I don't know if we can show that or not. That's the part where,
Like, watch,
you'll
he's not,
notice.
yeah, he won't put any weight on that.
Yeah, he won't put any weight on the right one. So that's when people are like, well, we knew. And then fight starts, and then MGK, which I don't know if you guys know the beef with MGK, and that's the shattering
That's
of the leg. You
it?
see that? That's
no,
what
no,
happened.
no, that's not it. That's not it.
Is that the one? Is there another one?
No.
Because I saw a picture of that was not the one?
No, that's.
Why are you teasing us with stuff
Yeah, it
like
looks like
this?
somebody put a shotgun. That's a
Oh.
joke.
I see it. You went a little bit higher. I saw it for a split second what it was.
Oh.
That was a big joke.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that happens, and a lot of people come out and they knew he had to get in the ring to get paid $30 million.
Yeah.
He doesn't step foot in there, he doesn't get his 30. He has to get in there to get his $30 million. So the world was looking forward to it. MGK, who had issues in the past with Eminem, and which, by the way, he made a video responding to Eminem, and then Eminem responded back, and I think it was over from there. But here's MGK at Conor. Go ahead.
I'm aware I did a post yesterday, and I should probably apologize for absolutely nothing, homie. Fuck this dude. That's how beef works. We don't like each other. Everyone's saying, oh, you commented on his age. He's only 1 year older than you about his knees. Hey, guess what? We don't age the same. My knees are awesome. Oh, you wouldn't say it to his face? I already did. That's why a picture exists of this little leprechaun punching up and missing me and me not flinching. Where the fuck is the rest of the footage where we toss this little guy like a piece of dirty drawers across the red carpet? That's why all the footage starts with him far away. Buddy, you look like a drunk, ugly extra in a Sherlock Holmes movie. What in the 1934 am I looking at? Fix your face. Holy shit. Oh, that's me. Why are you kicking him while he's down? Dude, fuck this guy when he's down, up, sideways, asleep, while I'm peeing.
You know what?
Okay, can I please go, PBD?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. All right. This is the problem with internet culture. Does anyone think that if these two guys were in a room together, Machine Gun Kelly, who's probably never shot a gun in his life, paints his fingernails pink. Yes, he's banging a hot chick. I'll give him that. Sorry for the kids out there. Does anybody think if you drop these two guys in an alley by themselves that MGK would be walking, talking, speaking, or living nobody? It's so easy. Drake famously said the line, when trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers. This guy is a fake tough guy talking about one of the most decorated, likable, greatest champions of all time in the UFC and MMA. The fact that he's taking away Connor's shine
Let me tell
and
you.
took it away from him is ridiculous. This should be about Connor,
You know what's gonna
one of
happen?
the greatest who's ever done it.
Okay, let's
Came
play a
out
game.
way
Adam,
too
here's a
aggressive,
game for you.
Ruined his knee, ruined the fight.
What are the
But this guy should
chances?
shut his mouth.
What are the chances that Conor and MGK are going to see each other at some kind of a party or an event?
For sure.
Oh,
And
I
what are
hope
the
so,
chances?
BBD.
What are the chances Conor beats the living crap out of him?
I mean,
he's a
I'd
father
love
of
to
3
see
kids
that.
now. What are the chances he does that?
Oh, after
You know
your-
what I would do if I'm Conor right now? I would do the following. I would say, MGK, please quote tweet this, that the next time I see you in the streets or at an event, and if I beat the living crap out of
Yeah.
you, you don't sue me.
Yeah.
Can you please quote retweet
Yeah.
this so the public knows?
Yeah.
And it's almost like you're being held harmless
It's on
from a
site.
lawsuit.
On site.
I would be tweeting that if I'm Conor right now, because the moment it happens, that left is coming, it's over.
It's over.
So,
that
you know what's
left- yeah.
heartbreaking about this is
He picked
some of the
battles, that's for sure.
greatest UFC moments ever was with Conor.
Yep.
When he fought Mayweather, non-UFC boxing, the way he did what he did, unbelievable. When he fought Khabib, the greatest, I mean, that was like of course, the match, neither one of them ended the way. When he fought Diaz, both of them, the first one, the second one, do you know, I think 5 out of the top 5 biggest pay-per-views, when they used to do pay-per-views, is all Conor. I don't know if you know this or
Yeah,
not.
Jose Aldo.
This guy changed the game. He made a few $100 million in one of the interviews he's doing. I don't know if you have it or not. If you type in Conor Jesus, they're asking to say, does the game change you? Does the game change you? And he says, of course it does. Of course it does. Is this the interview? Yes, this is it. Man, play this clip if you can. Go from the beginning. Watch this. Go for it.
What does your Catholic faith mean to you, and how important was it to your comeback and preparation for this fight?
It is everything in my life. I have mountain-moving faith, and I am more than a conqueror in Jesus. I am an heir of the royal family, an heir of the royal estate. All of God's promises are yes and amen in Christ and apply to me. It is no longer I who lives, but Christ who lives in me.
I love it.
All glory to God.
I love it. I freaking love him.
McGregor, hold on right here. What is your Catholic?
He is.
And by the way, can you go to the other thing when he says, did the game change you? Type in Conor interview. No, you just stay where you are. No, just stay where you are. Go back to X where you were at. Go back to where you were at. Where were you? You just lost yourself. Go back to where you were at. And go to the top and just remove McGregor and just type in Conor interview. Just type in interview. Yeah. And so if you see this here, in one of the interviews, he's going, I hope you find it. Go a little bit lower. And there's a clip. Did the game change you? And his answer is such a beautiful answer of what he gives. Anyways, Vinny, any thoughts here?
Well, he did a post game too, Pat, where he goes the next day, because the fight was Saturday. He said he's going to church on Sunday. I mean, this is heartbreaking for me because I followed Conor McGregor's career, Pat, when he was fighting in freaking Ireland, and a girl that I used to know very, very well in California, I won't even say her name, when he started blowing up and started doing the UFC Unleashed, and he got the fight with Jose Aldo and following up to the fight, then he started blowing up. She's like, oh my God, this is the guy. Yeah, play this clip.
Watch this clip.
Fell into the trap. And
Watch this.
Do you feel like you fell into the trap that so many fighters do with fame and money?
Obviously. You know, 2017, double-weight world champion, Floyd Mayweather banked. And then I launched an Irish whiskey. I didn't drink heavily, if at all, in that time of my life. I was an athlete at the top of my game. Next thing you know, there's thousands upon thousands of bottles in my garage. Sell this, Conor. Okay, I'd leave my property with 2 bottles under my arm. And that was it. I was caught. God gave me these lessons. That's it. I was trapped and caught. And it is what it is. I trust in God. I trust in my journey. And I trust in the truth. If the world is against the truth, then I am against the world. That is where I stand.
Let me tell you,
Do you feel
I'm
like
telling you, God willing, this guy stays healthy. He's not done with his life. Whatever he does next is going to be something big. And it's not even going to be something he's ready for right now. It could be political. It could be back with his country. But if we know the war that's about to come, and you're seeing it happen in UK, in Europe, and all these other places, and it's going to come to U.S. as well, you're going to need some crazies like that to go to war. You're going to need some crazies like that. And he's going to play a very important role for this next phase we're about to go through, which, by the way, I'm certain is coming the next couple decades. I am certain that war is coming. And people like him are going to unite and realize who the enemy is. And I think he's had some big fights, but I don't think his biggest fight he's had yet. I think he's going to have his biggest fight in his life, God willing, if he stays healthy and stays positive. Good
You
things
mean
are gonna happen
politically?
with him. Yeah, politically. I think politically.
That place is going to need. They need it.
I think he's going to
They
be solid.
need it.
Anyway, let's get to the last story before we wrap up. The last thing I want to show is the following. So here's a public warning to anybody above 80 years old. Folks, we're really concerned for you. Can you just pause it for real quick before we get to it? If you're above 80, look, I mean, chances are you're probably going to run into a bison somewhere. Some are slim. Some would say would never happen, but let's just say it
God,
does.
I can't even.
I want you to watch this. A tourist was seriously injured because he was trying to take a video of this bison. And then he ended up flying 8 feet in air, which, by the way, I want you to brace for impact from laughing. This is not necessary. We'll laugh. Vinny,
You know,
you're already
wait,
doing
hold on.
it.
You know why though, Pat?
But you have-
It's mating season. He's in testosterone mode. They know what they're doing. By the way, that's a picnic table
If
set
there's
up.
anybody that knows what not to do when you're in the mating season, is an 80-year-old male.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, if you're watching this, you know when you're in the mood and somebody bothers you, what are we capable of doing? Some very bad things. So I want you to watch this. And again, brace for impact. Kids, just
Yeah,
parents
brace
at
for
your own
him,
risk.
back
Go ahead,
children
play the
who are watching live videos.
80-year-olds, man. You got to look out
Okay.
for them sometimes.
Now look, he's having fun. He's he's chilling.
This is where? This is a
Yellowstone National Park.
There you go.
And there's the victim in the
Just
back with
walking
his
around?
daughter or son. I can't tell, male or female. Male?
Nowadays, you can't tell.
I can't even tell. I can't.
Is that a beard? Does he got a big beard?
Yeah, big beard,
Okay,
taking
like
the photo.
Santa Claus out there.
Well, watch what's about to
Is that
happen.
a buffalo?
So far, everything looks pretty cool, and it's just
Dolphins
like,
jersey?
Yeah.
watch this. Just like, let me take a video, honey. We're going to go back and show it to Mary.
And look, Pat, he thinks, see, the bison sees the truck like he wants some beef, but then he's like, you know what? I'm going to go after Grandpa.
Watch.
Imagine if you're grandpa right now
Watch
thinking,
this.
holy
shit.
moly.
Look at this.
Dude.
No, wait for it. So he's so far,
Oh, no.
you can tell he played
No.
running back or something back in the days.
Yeah, for sure.
And by the way, what happened to the kid?
Look, but the kid's
Decide-
gone. The kid's
The
gone.
lady.
Pat, the bison's fighting the tree.
He's
now
hiding behind a tree.
Watch, wait for it.
Oh,
wait
my
for
God.
It. Wait for it. He's getting away so far, it's everything
Oh,
good. It's about to
no.
happen.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, the old man.
Folks, don't do this if you're over 80. Why
Well,
would you do this to yourself?
I feel bad.
Wow.
Why are you
8
walking
feet.
around
I
like
don't.
that?
8 feet.
I'm not even gonna laugh at that because that.
Yeah,
that
for sure.
I,
What's he
Always-
doing, by the
no,
way?
I
it's
don't know,
always
but I
white
guarantee
people.
that
You
did
notice
hurt.
There's no minorities. You'll never see a black, a Middle Eastern, or Puerto Rican anywhere around. They're like, why are you that close? No, Adam. There's a. Get the hell.
Tom, please defend
away.
white people now.
No,
I am going to,
Please
and I'm going to
defend
tell you
white people.
something.
This is always white people
Tom,
with a
step up.
camera.
We need you, Tom.
So, hey,
The white people need you. The whites.
Exactly.
It's always white.
my father-in-law,
Exactly.
my father-in-law, Bob, great guy, Bob, and my brother-in-law, Jason, mountain man of Jason, big guy. So they live in Idaho,
Yeah.
and we go up there and visit a lot. Christmas, holidays, certain birthdays. We're in there in the springtime, Pat. We say, hey, let's go up to Yellowstone and let the girls see all the stuff, all the geysers and everything up. But we also have some areas that were not like this with picnic benches, but you would not get out of your car. You would just drive slowly because there were ranch fences and certain obstacles. But we personally saw, here we go, an Asian guy with a camera, like an old school big camera, get out of the car, hop the fence and walk like 10 paces into this kind of prairie, taking pictures of 3 or 4 bison that were very quiet and just grazing. And there was one of these big tan, logos on the side of a truck, National Park Service. This guy gets out and he says, "Get out!" He's yelling into them, "Get out!" The guy's just turning, looking at him, taking pictures. The guy starts blowing a whistle and he has a little orange air horn. He blows the air horn. And these guys come walking, and as they're walking toward us, all of a sudden the bison decided to get up and start galloping. Now we're in our car with the windows rolled up, and I'm watching this, and here it comes. But the guy gets over the fence, and then you hear the park ranger, and the bisons ran up to the edge where the fence were. They turned around, went back to do whatever bisons do. But the ranger is like, "Are you crazy?" And they were staring at him. I don't think they spoke English. Like, "Are you crazy?" So this is the life of a park ranger, where you go out
The
of your
other day
truck
we went to a zoo,
yelling at people like
and
this.
we're in the
Well,
car,
we
and
thought we were going to see a fatality.
We're at a zoo the other day, and I got the window down, and I'm looking at these lines. and giraffes and all this stuff. It's like, hey, pull your window up. Pull your window up. That's not something to joke around about. Anyways, we're at this Palm Beach Zoo. I don't know if you've been to it. It's pretty sick. You drive through. It's very
Yeah, of
cool.
course.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
What,
Anyways,
Lion Country Safari?
I think it's something like, you know who bought it? You know who bought? I think Larry Ellison just bought it. As crazy as it is. Can you type in, did Larry Ellison buy a Lion Country Safari in Palm
Lion
Beach?
Country Safari, West Palm Beach.
Did Larry Ellison buy Lion Country Safari? If I know this weird fact, I don't know for what reason.
Random.
Buy a Lion Country Safari in Palm Beach. You got to be better than that, buddy. Safari in Palm Beach. In Palm Beach. EALM Beach. Not BITC.
West Palm Beach.
Okay. All right. So let's see if this. Yes. There you go. All right, I was right. So he bought it. 254 acres. Anyways,
Larry Ellison did?
Yeah, Larry Ellison did. All right.
We gotta stop.
All right, go. So I'm gonna switch back to the cam here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this reaction here, this live reaction here. I'm about to head to my job. I gotta go to work. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this today. I hope that you guys enjoy and understand why I do this type of content, because like this type of content to me is valuable. It brings value. It brings you some good humor, and it's all around. Just again, like I was saying before about what they do on their show, is that they provide engaging conversation. So that's what I like to do, and I actually like reacting to it personally. I like getting their platform, or getting their brand out there, because they're a good group of guys. Like I said, I've been to one of their conferences last year in Orlando. When I went to Orlando, you guys can go check out those vlogs as well. I went down there to his conference. He hosted the conference. It was awesome. And I'm going to the one in Vegas, like how they announced in the video as well. So it's going to be really cool guys. I've met Vinny, the guy that's sitting on the right in the podcast, sitting on the far right in the black shirt. I met him. I've took a photo with him, and I took a photo with one of their video guys, their research guys, Rob that's in the back probably doing this, probably getting crap talking to about him. But yeah, so these are just a great group of guys. I like their content, and they also like, their audience is very broad, so it's not just people my age and Gen Z, but there's also people like my siblings' age, my parents' age, my grandparents' age that watch this as well. So, and not only that, again, it's a great networking opportunity for their event. If you go to their website and all that, go to their YouTube, they'll show you everything of where everything's at, especially with the events as well. The events are awesome. You get to connect and network with a whole lot of smart people that love to develop, that love to build, and that love being in business. So it's one of those things where if you're wanting to be involved, you got to get involved, because if you don't, you just miss out on a whole bunch of opportunities. And I'm all about networking, communicating, and just being aware of what's going on, being a neurovigilant person as I am. That's how it is for me. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's live stream. I'm gonna try to go live a little bit more, but I'm also gonna break this up into some videos, so be aware of that as well. So I appreciate all of you guys, and hopefully we'll be able to do this more often, and hopefully we'll get more viewership as well. So this is, like I said, this is in my opinion what content can actually be, and that can be of value, and not all this dumb brain rot crap that's all in our social media algorithm. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys leave a like, and make sure you guys comment and subscribe down to the channel. Hit the bell notifications so you don't miss any new videos, any new content, and follow me on socials, AskMeKev on all social media. So have a great day, you guys. Hope that you guys have a great day, and stay tuned for more content. Absolutely. So also a little bit of an announcement. I will be starting to make merch here pretty soon. I'm going to launch it here pretty soon. I'll probably have another live stream getting ready to launch it, and then I will be able to give you guys access to that if you guys want to buy any merch. I'm going to not try to make it so expensive, but I'm also going to grow as I go, because I don't plan on making this a full-time thing just yet, but it's something definitely is in the works like for sure this time. I cannot express to you how excited I am to start this, but I'm also very locked in right now, and I'm very I'm thinking about a whole lot. There's a lot of details to go involved in the back end and behind the scenes, but I hope that you guys stay tuned for that. Also, we're going to be creating a Discord, so I want to try to create a little community for my channel and what I represent, and that is because I'm an autism advocate as well. So I want to get that back in the running and back in the works as well, because I was working on it for a little bit, but then I just got distracted and all this stuff. So, but now I'm taking a new direction in filming content and all that stuff. So I hope that you guys stay tuned, and I will be making an announcement about the launch here in a few weeks. So just give me a little bit more time. I'm working out the kinks and making sure that everything is all laid out and the blueprint is correct. So hope that you guys stay tuned for that, and I hope that you guys again enjoyed today's stream. God bless you guys. I hope that y'all have a great day. Drive safe if you're gonna be out, and stay tuned for more content. If you can, like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the content, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any new content. So see you later, y'all. Peace.